Yeah, we getting it cracking. I'm about to start on the other YouTubes. I'm starting up right now. It should also start up in yours and on my Twitch too. It'll start up in a second.
Say that.
Yeah, it should be starting up in a moment. All right, cool, y'all. All right, y'all start liking the live and start sharing. Start liking the live and start sharing. We is here. You already know what this is. Why should black people be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelites? I want to know. Don't you want to know, Bar?
Yeah, I'm ready to get into it, man. I got I got a question I want to try to ask today. So whenever we get some people, man,
yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun
even though I don't like the question, I'm dying to hear the answer to this question. I just gotta know.
Oh yeah,
you gotta ask me, brother.
Hey, PRK, you
hold on, Playboy.
Yeah, Playboy, give us a second, PRK. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and tap that screen. We're gonna go ahead and start the debate in a second. We're gonna try to get to at least 1,000 likes before we go ahead and start. We're trying to get more people in here.
Yeah.
Y'all welcome to the stage. Y'all welcome Black Atheist Rants. And of course, me as well, your host. Y'all make sure y'all streaming Bar's album. Make sure y'all stream that album, man. It's incredible.
Yeah.
That album
is that.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and go out there and get that. That album is amazing. It's incredible. So y'all make sure to stream that.
Come on, man.
Shout out to everybody.
Revelations on all streaming platforms, man. Go get that.
No, I love the fact I love the fact that you're a Black Atheist. You named it Revelations. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Y'all tap that screen. Tap that screen. We're trying to get to 1,000 likes before we start with PRK.
Bluetooth connected.
Dope. We're trying to get to 1,000 likes before we start with PRK and start with his point, his discussion. Be patient with us, PRK. We just getting everything started up. Love the fact that we already got a guest and we just started, but absolutely love that. All right, so if you're watching me over on the YouTube, shout out to you. I appreciate you there. Shout out to me if you're watching me from the Black Atheist Coalition. If you're watching me from Volsy Thoughts, we appreciate you there, of course. If you're watching me from the Deconstruction Junction, definitely appreciate you there as well. Y'all come through. We appreciate that. All right, we're at 1,000 right now. PRK, I think I've spoken to you before.
Maybe a while back.
Yeah, maybe a while back. All right, so the question now has become, I know that you're at least 18. I think that you're a Christian. Are you a Black person?
So I'm not Black. Do you have to be Black to be up here?
We'll talk to you anyway. We don't believe that Black people should be Christian. What's a good reason for us to be Christian?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I would say, if you get into the colonialism stuff and all of that, that's one thing. But when we're looking at Jesus Christ, okay. But when we're looking at Jesus, right, it's like, well, first, I mean, many people were convinced that they saw that guy resurrect. In my view, right? I'm convinced of that at the very least. And my thing about that would be, I find it very hard for many people that know the person to be mistaken that they've seen them resurrected. I think that's really difficult for them to be mistaken about. And I think the evidence for that
you're saying
is that
Black people should. You're saying Black people should be Christian because some apocalyptic preacher got unalived.
Oh, well, people were convinced they saw him resurrected. And I'm saying it's very hard for people to be convinced they saw someone they know resurrected. Many of them.
Even if we go with that, what does him resurrecting have to do with Black people? What does it have to do with us?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm not the right person for this panel, to be honest, because I don't know how to respond to that, dude.
Okay, well, here was like
Jesus came for the lost sheep of Israel. That's not us.
Yeah, that's not us. I mean, because here's the thing, right? If something like this were to happen, there should be some sort of evidence for it. Yeah, people were convinced, but them being convinced doesn't make it true. And not only that, Black people didn't become Christians for some through some revelations. Jesus never set a foot in Africa, unless you're gonna count the story when he went to Egypt. Unless you're gonna count that, but that kind of that kind of contradicts one of the other stories. But let's say he did go to Egypt, right? We're from sub-Saharan Africa. Me, myself, and Bard, what we will call black people are from sub-Saharan Africa. We're from we're not from the Levant region at all. You see what I'm saying? So it's not for us. Why would we accept it or be Christian because of some other story? Well,
because okay, so you're saying that he only came for people of Israel, right? And that's what the Bible says.
Yeah, well, that's what the Bible says. And number two, we don't even know if this is true or not.
Yeah, I don't know if he did come for the lost sheep of Israel. Who knows what Jesus said? I'm one of those people that don't know what he said. It's like,
yeah, you're privileged enough to where it doesn't even fucking matter. You're white. Christianity is not miseducation for white people. Christianity is miseducation for the Negro, though. Right?
Yeah, and just to add on to that, PRK, the reason why we say that is that even though Christianity originated in the Levant region in the Middle East, it's factual that right now the theology, the finance, the governance, the spirituality, literally every single thing that has come out of Christianity for the past 2,000 years has been centered in Europe, not anywhere else.
Yeah. Okay, fine, but
right.
Can I also to that previous question, because I thought you said something interesting. You are under the persuasion that these people were convinced they saw Jesus resurrected, right?
It doesn't. If you think that they were convinced, fine. I'll let you have that for the sake of the conversation. If you're saying, "Hey, I believe that these people during whatever time period believe that a man died and resurrected," I'm saying, what does that have to do with us? We had our own gods. We have our, because if you believe that Jesus died and was crucified and resurrected, fine. Religions and gods of their own. So if that is what the Jews and the Gentiles believed in first century Judea and Rome and Galilee, so fucking what? What does that have to do with people from Africa that had their own cultures, religions, and pantheons? What does that have to do with us? Hey, take your time, but hurry up. Oh, he left. I would have left too.
Yeah, he left. Okay, cool. Let's move on to, I think that's a Z. Z, go ahead and come back, swipe back in, because I'm not sure if you are able to hear us or if you got a phone call. There she is. All right, guys.
Sorry, so I was just scrolling through.
Not a problem. All right, Z, give me a second. All right. So everybody, just to let y'all know, we're only taking opposition for the moment. We'll take friendlies in another moment. Y'all just go ahead and wait on us. We're gonna go ahead and take opposition for now. If you say something in the comments that either disagrees with us or questions why we're asking about race, that all that is good and well, we're just gonna go ahead and invite you up. Coptic Tony, you said you'll be back in about 30 minutes to an hour. That's fine. Go ahead and come back then. And we're all taking friendlies right now. If you're watching us from Black Atheist Rants, the link is pinned to join. If you're watching me from Volsy Thoughts, the link is pinned to join. If you're watching me from Black Atheist Coalition, the link is pinned to join. We appreciate y'all. We're going to talk to Z right now. We do see the other guests in the box. No worry. We're going to bring y'all up. Z, how's it going? Are you at least 21 and Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite? Are you a black person?
I'm not black, but I'm 23. I'd like to say I'm Christian.
Cool. You're a Christian, not a problem. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and talk to Z. So Z, we don't think that black people should be Christian. What's the reason why we should be? This religion is basically European culture deified.
Slavery.
It's slavery, yeah. It's basically Greco-Roman culture.
That too, my bad.
That too. Black people did use Christianity as a coping method to survive slavery. I will give you that. But there are a lot of black churches as well, you know. So I would say it's more than just slavery. It's a
but why are there black churches? Hold up. Go on
because
mute, Playboy.
communities
Go on
came
mute.
about in hard times.
Go on
and
mute. If you're not Z, go on mute. Everybody else go on mute. Thank you. So Z, we know that there are black churches, but why?
Because they came
Why
together
the
during the slavery.
what?
Because like the slavery time, they came
Right.
together.
Do you think people should practice religions forced on them during slavery?
No, but I think we should look past that, and we should
Slow down.
recognize the fact
Slow down.
that
You're
we
talking.
survived it.
Listen, you're talking past yourself, Z. Slow down for a minute. I'm gonna ask it
Mhm.
again. I want you to think about your answer and then think about what your response. This is a yes or no question. Do you think people should practice religions forced on them during slavery? Yes or no?
I think it's more than that. You're subsidizing it to slavery.
How did black people get Christianity?
They didn't get it. They picked it up themselves. They turned it into
From who? Where did we get it
not
from?
white people.
The New Testament was originally written in Greek. What
Well, how
black
come-
African?
Pardon?
What black African people? Where on the continent of Africa is the language Greek indigenous? Where?
I'm not educated on that. Sorry, could you?
It's nowhere.
Nowhere.
Z. It's nowhere. I mean,
Nowhere,
that's
Z.
not something that you have to be educated on. Nowhere in Africa do they speak
Well, I don't
Greek.
speak Greek.
Hold on, Z. Hold on. Listen. Nowhere in Africa do they speak Greek indigenously. That exists nowhere in Africa.
I wouldn't
Hold on,
think
Z.
so.
Z. You're. This is what I
Don't
need you to do.
crash,
For me.
baby. Just hold up. Slow down.
Just hold on. This is what I need everybody to do for me in this conversation. Don't just listen to respond. All right, like don't just react to what we're saying.
Yeah,
Listen.
don't crash. Calm down and pay attention so you
Just
can
pay
get this
attention.
You said you don't know something. Do you want to learn it or you just want to crash?
I just asked you.
Okay, so Z, don't ask in the middle of my statement. You're not listening if you do that.
You weren't talking.
So, Z, we're not gonna take the snarkiness. All right, especially from a white person. So
do you want to learn or do you want to crash? What do you want to do?
Competing races.
Hey, ma'am, do you want to learn the information or do you want to crash out?
I'm not crashing out. You are.
Okay, then listen to voices so you can learn the information that you said you did not know.
All right, so Z. So nowhere on the African continent do they speak Greek. The New Testament was written in Greek. So there was no way that black people from sub-Saharan Africa, probably except for Ethiopia, were able to get Christianity without it being transported here by somebody else. So it was transported to the African continent through colonialism and slavery. The only notable exception is Ethiopia. They were able to get it through trade and all that shit. But even then, it was the king who converted, and then he forced everybody else to convert. But for people like myself who descend from Western and Sub-Saharan Africa, Christianity wasn't there. It got there through colonialism. So the question then becomes, should we be the religion of our colonizers? You're saying that we should look past it. And the question is, why should we look past something like that? If we were able to get this spirituality, we were able to get to this entire system through brutality and through something that interrupted our development, why should we be part of that? Maya, you can join in a second, but there's a countdown and you're in a queue. So give me a second, Maya. But Z, yeah, that's the question. Why should we be part of a system of a spirituality that not only denigrates our own spirituality, forces us to abandon it, but we got it through slavery and through brutalization? Why would we do that?
I think it just comes down personally to the way you want to look at it. Because I mean, the actual slaves that went through it, they weren't looking at it like that. You know what I mean? Like,
you sure?
Saw it as a,
I'm sure they were. Where are you from? Where? I want to make you understand. I want to make you understand what's going on right now. So you say you practice Christianity, right?
I didn't say I practice it. I'd say I'm Christian. I have a relationship with God.
So you're a Christian. You practice Christianity.
Right. You practice Christianity is a religion that is practiced. It's a faith. It's a religion that you take on faith. It's not anything that can be proven or demonstrated. It's a faith. If
it can't be proven or demonstrated, how's it practiced?
Because you're taking it on faith. It's just something that you accept. You're just practicing it. Like we can't because we can't prove it and because there's no evidence behind it to solidify it as a actual
It should
fact,
be in your heart.
it's
You know what I mean?
what is how are you learning and talking while I'm speaking? You're the guest here. You know that, right?
Yeah, period.
Guests,
Yeah.
when a guest comes up on a panel and they say out of their mouth they don't know something, they never heard of that, they don't know where that's from, they're not educated on that. That means shut the fuck up and learn, right?
I thought it was a new topic. But yeah.
What?
Well, I can't even hear a word you're saying at this point.
I don't.
I thought it was a new topic. But
No, it's not. All right. All right, man. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and move on to Sean Brush.
Hey,
After
man.
Sean,
If you up here,
Can I say
hold on,
something?
my bad. No, you can't say something. Me and Vossi, I did cut my brother off. I apologize, Vossi. My bad. Go
no,
ahead.
all good. I'm gonna say we're gonna move on to Sean, but go ahead and we're gonna move on to Sean. We're in the queue right now. There's Sean, there's Lovey, there's Rad, and then there's Mac. Okay, we're gonna go in that order: Sean, Lovey, Rad, and Mac. All right. So go ahead. What you're saying, Bar?
Man, look, if you come on the panel and Vossi says something that's outside of your awareness, or I say something that's outside of your awareness, if you've never heard of it, take the time to listen and maybe get educated so you can go and fact check it. You can't learn if you say you don't know something and I'm trying to tell you something. Why the fuck would you be talking while I'm telling you the answer? That don't make sense, blood. Go, but
Yeah,
who you say we on?
We on Sean right now. After Sean is gonna be Lovey, then it's gonna be Rad, then it's gonna be Mac. Maya, I'm gonna bring you up once we're finished talking to one of them, and I see God's word in the guest queue as well. We're gonna bring you up once again. If you're watching me over on YouTube, the link is pinned for you to join. Again, tiny.cc/Volsi Live. All right, tiny.cc/Volsi Live, and that's where you're gonna be able to join up to talk to me and Bar. If you're watching from another source and not TikTok. All right, y'all. So here's what we're going to do. Number one, everybody get some time. You see the countdown over there, or where's is on this side? Okay, cool. You see the countdown over there on that side. No snarkiness, no bullshit, especially if you're a white person. All right, because this conversation barely has anything to do with y'all. All right, Kyle, I see you in the guest queue. We're gonna get to you next. Sean, how's it going? Sean, are you at least 21? Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite? Are you a black person?
I'm a white person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm an atheist.
Oh, okay, cool. Lovely. Are you Sean? I'm sorry. We're gonna drop you for a second. You can come back when we're ready for you. All right. Thank you so much, Sean. All right, Lovey. Are you at least 18? Are you at least 21? Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite? Are you a black person?
Yes, I'm black. I'm a Christian, and I'm over 21.
All right, gotcha. We don't
How you
believe
brothers doing this today?
we're all right. We don't believe that black people should be Christian because of the history of how we got it, and we can't even show it to be true. What would you say?
Okay. So first, I want to ask. I want you guys to see if you can find me a Bible verse where it says force people to become Christian.
To force people to become Christian?
Yeah.
There's nothing that specifically says that. The Christians, what the colonizers back then took was a few verses that kind of adhered it, that kind of you can interpret it that way. But Bar has something. Bar, what you were saying?
So there is what you're asking for is not it's not, the Bible isn't written for like us today. So of course it's not going to say those words.
What do you mean?
Specifically? Right. So when the New Testament and the Old Testament were written, those people were not colonizing sub-Saharan Africa at that time. So of course it's not going to say, hey, go and make these black people Christian. The Bible doesn't say that.
No,
However,
I didn't ask about black people. I said, where in the Bible does it say force people to become Christian?
Oh, no, it doesn't say that.
I'm trying to explain. It's not.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bar.
It's not going to say that. My bad, boss.
No, all good. But I think we're saying the same thing, Bar, because what it is, Lovey, is that the verses don't say specifically go out and convert the people by the sword. It doesn't say that, right? But what Matthew, I was looking for the verse right now. It says Matthew 28:19. it does say, "Go therefore,
go ye therefore and teach all nations,
baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit." Now, of course,
Teaching
they
and
took.
enforcing are two different things.
Yeah, you need to be
Slow
quiet. You need to be quiet, Lovey. Remember what I said, right? There's nothing in the Bible that says that specifically. Go force them to do it, but they took this verse to mean to do that. That's what I'm saying. Now, of course, there's nothing in the Quran that also says go teach them about a sword. It doesn't say that either. But that's what happened.
The Quran does teach that.
Hold on.
Chapter.
I want to clarify something. Let me clarify something. So, what you're about to do is you're about to argue against the interpretation of people who you think use the Bible wrong. That's not what we're doing here. I can't argue against what the white people use the Bible to do because they already did it. Whether you like it or not, they did it. That's how we got Christianity. I can't go back in time and change that.
Yeah, I understand that. Yes,
do you watch this? I'm about to show you. Do you think white people use the Bible wrong?
During the time of slavery, yes, 100%.
You think they used it? You think they used it wrong, right?
By forcing Christianity on people, yes, 100%.
They think they used it right
because you got to understand.
They think they used it right though. You see what I'm saying? They think they used it right. You think they used it wrong. What do we do now?
But what I understand that. But let's go to scripture. Okay, you got to remember they took verses that we have today out of Bible and they gave it to those slaves. The Bible we have today, which is translated, the King James version is the closest translated to all the original manuscripts we have today. Does it enforce, like the Quran chapter 9 verse 5 enforces, kill polytheists if they don't agree with Quran, they don't follow Allah, kill them.
There's a verse in the Bible. That's what I was trying to get to. There's a story in the Bible where they made a covenant to Yahweh, and the God literally told them, "Those who do not seek the Lord God of Israel shall be put to death, man or woman, small or great."
They were you talking about
Second Chronicles 15. You start at verse 13. They made a covenant, and the God told them, "Those who do not seek me, unalive them." That's what it says. So that could be a verse that they take and say, "Well, look, people who don't accept our God, we can unalive them."
And can I add something else?
Yes.
Because in the Quran, there's actually verses against compelling them to religion. Like for example, in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:25-6. It says, "Let there be no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out from error. Whoever rejects evil and believes in Allah hath grasped on most trustworthy handhold." So it's a really a verse to say to don't force convert them. Now, of course, like I'm not denying your verse, right? But all that shows that the Quran has contradictions, same as the Bible.
No, sir, the Bible does not have contradiction.
You sure?
100%. But let me ask.
Would you like me to read you a contradiction?
In a second, let me ask you this. So you also made a claim stating that you said, why is Christian? How did it spread? You said
we know how it spread in sub-Saharan Africa through colonialism and slavery.
Well, not only that. I mean, the day of Pentecost, they were speaking unknown tongue of different languages. The day of Pentecost, are you familiar with that?
The day of Pentecost. There's multiple days of Pentecost.
The one that talks about in scripture.
What the one that talks about is what?
When they were speaking unknown tongue.
What are you talking about?
They were speaking tongue from different nations.
You're talking about the Tower of Babel?
No. This is after the coming and resurrection of Christ, the day of Pentecost.
Yeah, I mean, but I know. Okay, cool. That's a story in the Bible. That doesn't mean it's true.
What do you mean? There's witnesses.
Okay, do we have how do we verify those witnesses? What manuscripts or archaeological
we about
evidence?
to pivot.
I know we're about to pivot. I know we're about to pivot, but
we don't have to pivot, man.
He's going to admit that there isn't any.
Genuinely.
Your first point.
Can you please stop interrupting these people? They were talking amongst themselves. Listen.
And Loris is a moderator, just so y'all know. Loris is a moderator. To the guest on the panel, Loris is a moderator. I just want y'all to be aware of that.
Listen, I am trying to figure out, right? You talked about slavery. How didn't they use the Bible as it was written?
You're asking me or them?
I'm asking you.
They took verses out.
What verses they took out? Did they take out a verse that says no one should be a slave? And
Well,
if
they
so,
took
if so, can you show me that verse?
show you a verse that says not to be a slave in the Bible.
Can you show me a verse that says, yes, and say that where God or Jesus says that slavery is wrong, no one should be slaves? You
So
say because you say they took verses out, and so I'm assuming that's one of the verses they took out.
Well, when I said that I was agreeing to the gentleman with the red do-rag. That's how they use the Bible to enforce.
Okay, so what are these
Christianity,
verses that they took out? No,
but
sir. Listen.
Let me ask you.
No, don't ask anything else because you've been asking questions. You haven't brought anything. Can you tell me the verses Sir, why do you keep interrupting? Sir,
Love, stop interrupting.
Sir,
let her ask her question.
Can you tell us the verses they removed?
No, but we can do a quick search here.
Okay, so search. I want you to search and tell me the verses they removed.
Let's see.
Okay. So here's my entire point, Love K. So this is my entire point. Like we both know, like because you're gonna say that they took one verse and they twisted it, right? All that is good and well, but at the end of the day, Jesus himself didn't come back and say that this is a proper verse and this isn't a proper verse. He didn't do that during colonialism. So even if you were to claim they took those verses wrong, you have no idea if that's true or not, because God never came down and said it was wrong, did he?
We have original manuscripts.
No, we don't.
We have those manuscripts.
No, we don't.
Sir, can you give me the verses that they took out where God or Jesus says no one should be a slave? I'm abolishing slavery. That's what I want.
Can I show you the verse that says God? And my question was, I asked, I'm not talking about a question. No, I asked you a question because this is like your fourth question that you've asked. You haven't. I asked,
sir, I'm not. You keep interrupting.
Show me a verse.
You have not answered any questions. You have not answered any. You're trying not to answer the one that I am asking. I am asking you to give us the verses that you said were taken out. That says that no one should be a slave is wrong.
All right, you can come off mute now, Love K. The reason why I muted you is because you keep interrupting. The middle of her sentence should not be interrupting the beginning of yours. You understand that, right, K?
She interrupted me first, but
she's a mod. Go ahead and answer her question. Yes, she has a right. The hosts and the mods have a right to interrupt because this is our stage, not yours. We'll give you the chance.
Copy that. So back to the question I was asking you guys is
I want you to answer my question first. You're not asking another question until you answer the question that I asked you. Because you haven't answered any questions.
Like I said, you cut me off while I was asking them.
Okay, well, answer the question that I asked.
I asked the question first. Are you going to answer it, yes or no?
Sir, where are these scriptures that you say were taken out of the Bible?
You can unmute.
Yeah, because you said that. No one put a pistol up to your head and asked you to say that. You said out your mouth, they took scriptures out. Lawrence is asking you a clarifying question. Which scriptures did they take out?
Here's the thing, Kay. This is very, very easy. Just say that you misspoke or you don't know. Very, very easy. Take accountability, bro. If you made a mistake, just take accountability. Say, I made a mistake. Yeah. This is very easy, bro.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, answer the question, or either answer the question with the verses, or just say you don't know, brother.
Did any
verses that they took out? No one is answering any more of your questions.
Clearly, you didn't understand.
Sir, what are the verses that they took out? That is what you said. You should have these verses. What are the verses that they took out?
Okay, clearly you didn't understand the answer I just gave.
Oh, Jesus
What
Christ.
I said,
Sir, the
Galatians.
answer should not. No,
what
your
I said,
answer should not
hold
be a
on.
question. I am.
It's
No,
not.
I'm not gonna ever hold on. I want you when I ask for scriptures. I just want you to tell me the verses. What are they? Your answer to my question should not be a question.
I wasn't asking you a question. I was telling you a statement.
Okay, so what are the verses? Can you just
know,
name one?
They didn't know about Galatians 3:28. Definitely not Galatians 3:28. They took out parts of Exodus when they said it.
Okay, so what parts of Exodus? Where can we see this?
Go to Exodus 3:7-8 real quick.
All right, cool.
Lords.
This was
hold
very,
on,
very
Lords.
easy.
I think he's talking about the. Hold on. I think he's talking about the slave Bible.
Go to
I know he's talking about.
Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about the slave Bible?
He's talking about.
That's the Bible. That's what I'm. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
The Bible where they took stuff
colonialism.
Out,
hold on. Wait. Hold on.
They didn't.
Colonial. Hold on. Just hold up for a minute because we can modulate. The colonialism predates the slave Bible. You know that, right?
That's new knowledge to me.
Wait, you didn't know?
The slave Bible didn't come out until almost the end of the 19th century. The slave Bible didn't come out until almost the end of slavery. And the slave Bible was disseminated mostly in the Caribbean.
Yeah, so love, colonialism, you realize, started like in the 16 to 1700s, or 1500s, I'm sorry. Like around the 1500s and during the slave, when the slave trade picked up.
The kidnapping and the G-side started in the 15th century.
Exactly. Around the 1500s. That's when it really started kicking up.
So that's prior to the slave Bible.
So I'm trying to get clarity here. Are you guys saying Christianity came only during when Africans only got Christianity during slavery times?
What we're saying is that
we got Christianity during slavery times.
Right.
That's when we got Christianity.
Hold on. Listen, this is what we're saying. When it comes to the entire African continent, right? Yeah, up north, over in Egypt and Carthage and over there like that. Yeah, the disciples were walking around. We're talking about
they were forced to worship. Listen, hold on, Volson. Yeah. Egypt was forced to be Christian. Ethiopia was coerced into Christianity, and everywhere else was colonized. Yes.
Ethiopian was coerced. What do you mean by what? So you mean what do you mean? Explain that.
Ethiopia got Christianity in the 4th century. This is after Rome had already started. This is after Constantine in Rome. This is after Armenia, after Rome. Ethiopia didn't get Christianity. They didn't create it. They didn't write the first Bible. None of that is true. They got it during the 330s. You look at when King Ezra, when he took reigns, and you look at their coinage. They have images of their coinage online, and you see that all the way up until the middle of the 4th century is where you start to see their coinage bear the cross instead of the sun disk, which is what they had at first on their coinage.
But were they forced to do it?
Yes, it's called the top-down model, where the king converts first, and then he pushes it on his kingdom. So the king converted to Christianity for political reasons, and then he basically
he was forced to do it. So wait, what do you mean? So political reasons?
Coercion is when basically like the kingdom of Axum, they follow their king regardless, whatever he do, whatever he believes in, that's their belief system. So when he converts, that's not grassroots. That's not authentic. That's not genuine. That's politics, propaganda. If a king converts to align himself with another superpower, is that spiritual? Oh, that's politics. Politics is not spiritual.
So you're saying your claim is you're saying majority of people in Ethiopia converted to Christianity because of the king.
Yes.
Yeah.
What evidence?
Why do you think they converted the king first? They didn't convert the people. They converted. When you convert the king, you don't have to convert the people because the king decides what happens. The king,
But
the king decides what happens.
That's a choice he made.
They
He made a
change their
choice.
currency.
He made a
They
choice
change
to humble himself. And
they
accept
change their currency. You have no idea what you're talking about. They change their
No
currency.
idea.
You're talking about humbling yourself, and sir, we are talking about history and something that really happened, and you're talking about someone humbling
He
themselves.
humbled himself and accepted Christ.
Sir, that's not what happened. That is absolutely not what happened. That is not why he converted to Christianity.
Okay, enlighten me as to why he converted.
Politics, bro.
It was political. They was getting their ass whipped. The Cushites were fucking up the European trade routes in their area, right?
Okay.
Do you know that? I'm saying right, like you know, you don't know.
Like love, you like remember how the King of Congo, King Alfonso I, when he converted to Christianity, it was all to have a trade deal with Portugal. That's what it was all about. As a matter of fact, King Alfonso tried to stop the slave trade and said that he wrote to the Queen of Portugal saying that we need to stop slavery, and they ignored him. Like this is all like documented history. It was all political. Same thing with the kings of Mali. The kings of Mali only converted to Islam for political reasons. When Muslim explorers, when Arab explorers went to the kingdom of Mali, they saw that they weren't even doing Islam the way that they do it over in the Arab world. They were doing their own African thing.
Listen, we see this later on in history when, because I'm gonna just say some white people shit because y'all love that, right? When King Henry VIII wanted a divorce and the Catholic Church wouldn't let him get a divorce, right? He changed the Church of England from Catholicism to Anglicanism. He unalived a bunch of Catholic people, including the man that used to be his Lord Chancellor, Sir Thomas More. What do you mean? The people follow the king.
Yeah, the entire Anglican denomination started because the motherfucker was horny. Like literally.
The whole, you said the whole, what?
The denomination of Anglicanism came from King Henry. It only started because he was horny. Literally the only reason.
England.
People follow the king.
Misinformation is crazy.
God's story is not your turn.
Hold on, God's stories.
And yeah, we're gonna have to move on soon because we're out of time. His time ran out.
Well, hold up. Because I wasn't done with him. I know we got to move on, but when you first came up, you said to show you where in the Bible where they're forcing people to be Christian. That's not in there. Like,
let me be more specific. Let me be more specific with my question.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the Bible does Christ himself approve or allow forcing people to follow
him? Jesus, where he says, bring those who didn't want to follow me before me and unalive them right in front of me. When Jesus says that. Let me get it.
When she get done, I got a verse too. Do you believe it? Well, mine's rests on, do you believe in the Trinity?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, when she gets done, I got a verse too. Because I gave it to you earlier, but my verse is kind of on the same lines as the one she's saying. But I'm gonna let Lord give you hers first.
I'm gonna do something real quick because we have the guest SF. I just want to make sure he can hear us. SF, you there?
I am. I don't know if you can hear me well though.
I can hear you. Did you hear everything on the live?
So far, yes.
You have. Okay, cool. That's all I needed to know. Stay on mute for me. Thank you so much.
Thing.
Cool. All right, we're just gonna wait for Lords whenever she gets back, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on, guys. Once again, guys, appreciate y'all for being here. Right now in the queue, we do have Love K. After Love K, it was someone dropped. I should have been writing this down. All right, we have Love K. And then we also have Mac. Mac, you were before God's Sword, I believe. But before. Then we have we have a queue. We have a queue. I just know that Coptic Tony is last. My bad, Lords. Go ahead. What you were saying?
He has, right? He says, but as for these enemies of mine who did not want me to rule over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence.
Where did Jesus say that at, though?
Luke 19:27.
Let's look at that.
I tell you, to all those who have, more will be given, but from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. But as far as these enemies of mine who did not want me to rule over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. Why would Jesus say that?
Let's read the well, in this passage, Jesus is teaching using a parable.
Yeah. Well, why would he say that?
Let's look at the context.
Hello?
What's the context?
Wait a minute.
Hello?
Wait, who's that talking? We told y'all to wait.
Most Christians understand it over minutes.
You got the context yet, Love K?
I'm getting it right now.
Right, diabiblical.
I'm sorry, man.
Your name is not diabiblical.
I think you just expose yourself. It's a parable, right?
God's sword. Please don't come off mute again. I know that God's children have a hard time with self-control, but
what?
Deep breath.
I am not
breath.
talking to you.
Okay.
Aren't you doing something? I said God's sword. I said diabiblical. You keep answering for these other people that are not you.
I didn't know who you were talking about.
I said their names. What?
Christ Almighty.
You woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, didn't you?
No,
Yeah, you did.
no, I did not. Sir, I am saying these people's names, and you keep saying, what? What you saying? I'm not talking to you.
Mad this morning.
Sir, I am not talking to you. Why is it taking you so long to read the context?
Yeah, we're gonna need you to hurry with this context.
The first is a king in the story speaking about judgment on his enemies after he returns.
So judgment on his enemies after he returns.
Exactly.
Who are the enemies of the Lord?
People who didn't believe in him.
No,
it literally says but as for these enemies of mine who did not want
enemies
me
of the
to
Lord.
Sir, can you stop interrupting me? Please.
My God.
Please. But as for these enemies of mine who did not want me to rule over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. He's literally telling you why he wants them slaughtered in his presence.
He's using that parable.
Sir, first you said, show me where it says that. I show you where God said the people that don't
understand what version of the Bible.
Hey, SF, it's not your turn. You gotta be quiet, SF. It's not your turn yet. Go ahead, Lords.
Sir, who are the people that don't want to follow Jesus?
I mean, there's no specific group of people that don't.
So if there's
you are being dishonest.
People, what's the point? He means everybody then, right? He means everybody that don't want to follow him. You just said that that don't want him to rule over him. You just said there's no specific group, so that means everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
You asked for a verse and she gave you one. Can you take back what you said in the beginning?
No. The verse is not used to force people to come to Christ. That's not what the verse is.
Sir,
no.
If I decide not to follow Jesus, if I decide that I don't want Jesus
the verse is talking about
me, sir, can you please stop interrupting me? Please. I don't know what your problem is. If I was here, right, and I decided that I did not want Jesus to rule over me, what would happen to me?
You would be judged.
No, it says I would be slaughtered in his presence. That's what this says.
Can I explain now?
Okay, go ahead and explain what slaughtered in his presence means.
The parable is used to explain this. For people that reject Christ, that's the day of when they are judged. That's how they'll be judged.
Okay, so for us not
That's
believing,
not forced. Hold on, that's not forced.
So for us not believing, actually that is forced, because it's saying that when this super sky wizard carpenter guy comes back, we're all gonna get killed because we didn't believe him.
Well, that's saying he's not
threat.
forcing. He's not. No, that's not. That's a consequence.
No, it's a threat. It's a threat. All those who didn't believe and follow me are going to get their heads chopped off. That's what that says.
Like I said, that's a parable used to describe.
Okay, so we're not going to get killed on the day of judgment.
You're going to be
right.
So Jesus was a rapper then. He was just using bars to say what he was going to do. Really?
No, Jesus oftentimes spoke in parables.
Yeah, like how rappers do. So Jesus was a rapper. He was an Iron Age rapper, y'all. He was just spitting bars.
I'll explain it again. If you die,
love. We already understand. You understand that most of us grew up in church, right? We already understand this.
That's what I'm trying to. We need to get past him.
Yeah,
so let's do this. Let's do this right here. So there is not one verse that the European Christians use. They use multiple verses to justify what they did. They used the Bible to justify what they were doing. That's what they did. Right. And they use scriptures that advocate for and that endorse slavery in the Bible. Those are the scriptures that they use. There's multiple. On top of them, I'm trying to just be quiet. Let me give it to you. Because you're trying to understand what justification the Christians had to do all this stuff, right? They did it using the script. There are scriptures in the Bible that under their interpretation was used to justify their actions. I'm not here to argue their interpretation. This is what they use these verses to do. Okay. On top of them using those verses on top of them using the verses that endorse slavery, they use what's called the doctrine of discovery. This is how black people, this is the legal religious justification for how we got Christianity. It's called the doctrine of discovery. It comes from the church. There's a series of papal bulls that come from the church that it basically gives white European Christians the authority and the authorization to unalive us, enslave us, take our land, take our resources, kidnap who they want. Anywhere they step foot where there are not Christians, that land is theirs, destined from God. These papal bulls all together make up what's called the doctrine of discovery. That is what the Christians use to justify their actions on top of scripture. So now that we got that out the way, black people should not be Christian because we should not be practicing a religion today in 2026 that was used to justify actions and crimes committed against our ancestors, our grandmothers, grandfathers. That's why we shouldn't be Christian.
Let's go.
Okay, so that's not a good claim to why we shouldn't be Christian. Just because someone misuses scripture to do something they want to do to hurt other people.
This is why I tried to skip. See what I'm saying? When you first came up, I asked you in the beginning, are you about to argue against their interpretation? You said no. I said, do you think they used the Bible wrong? This is why I tried to skip. We could have skipped all of this and got straight to this because I answered this in the beginning. I'm not here to argue against their interpretation. You think they used it wrong. They think they used it right. We got Christianity through colonialism and slavery.
The Bible says they used it right. The Bible
but that's what I'm saying. Him having his
you may have.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't like to interrupt. What was the verse again?
All right. So
he doesn't want to acknowledge the parable.
All right. So Love
we got to move on from him. We got
to move on. This is the last thing I'm going to say. We're going to move on. Love K. Exactly what Bar said. It doesn't matter if you think that they were interpreting it wrong. They thought they were interpreting it right. No matter what you say, the way we got Christianity is through colonialism. Doesn't matter if you think they used it right or not. We got it through colonialism.
You're arguing against them. Your Jesus is what? What color your Jesus is you got on your wall?
Well, according to Revelation, he has skin of bronze and hair of wool.
I'm talking about
what color is your Jesus? What color is your Jesus?
There's no. I don't have a picture of Jesus. I go off scripture.
And you know what? I wish y'all stop lying about these scriptures. It does not say he had hair of wool. It says his head and his hair were white like wool. That is what the scripture says. It doesn't say of. It says his head and his hair was white like wool. It doesn't say it was
He
made
has skin
of
of what? He has skin of
it
what?
says he has skin of bronze. Have you skin of burnished bronze? Have you ever seen burnished bronze before?
Is that white?
Do you know what it looks like?
Does it look like white people? I'm asking you.
Do you know what it looks like?
But his head,
the question first. I'm genuinely asking you.
No, it doesn't look like white people, but it says his head and his hair were white like wool.
Hey, love, let me ask you another question.
So what about the burnished bronze feet and a white head? What should we do with that? What should we do with the feet like burnished bronze but the white head?
You get off of
because it says his head and his hair were white like wool. What should we do with that?
Okay, like I said, what?
No, what should we do with that? His feet were like bronze. His feet were like bronze. His head and his hair were white like wool. What should we do with that? What should we do with the head, the white head?
You're still not acknowledging what his skin looked like. Not only that.
No, listen. If his head was, let me ask you a question. Love Kaya. If his head was white.
If he hid in Egypt, he wasn't white.
Sir, if his head was white, does that mean he was black? If his head were white, does that mean he was black? His feet were bronze, but it says his head was white. Does that mean that he was black?
Get off mute, love. You can go ahead.
Are you gonna keep muting me, or that's all?
No, I want you to answer my question. It says his feet. I'm giving you that his feet were bronze. Listen. I'm giving you that his feet were bronze, but it says his head was white.
And his eyes.
His head and his hair were white like wool. That's what it says. So what should we do about the white head part?
Okay, just like that part. In his eyes, read the whole verse. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. Flame of fire.
Do black people have fire eyes?
We gotta remember this verse is talking when Christ comes back. But
do black people have fire eyes?
Can I finish?
Love.
Do black people have fire eyes?
When I finish.
Love.
Sir, you're trying to posit that this is the picture of black Jesus. So I'm asking you, do black people have fire eyes?
I never said anything about that. I said I don't have a picture of Jesus in my home. I go off scripture. What we do know is What we do know is Jesus Christ hid in Egypt. How could to hide from King Herod? How can a white person go in Egypt and hide?
So then why does the scripture say his head and his hair are white? No, why does that same scripture says that his head
because he's in his glorified state, right?
Were white. No, Mac, please be quiet. Why do y'all keep coming on mute?
I said he came. That's when he comes back for judgment.
So what I'm asking you is, how do you account for his head and his hair being white? How do you account for that? Because that's what that exact same scripture says.
He's in his glorified body. He coming back from judgment.
All right, great.
That's what
so all right, y'all.
I'm sorry. Hey, pause. Everybody pause. Everybody pause. We got to move on, man.
Yeah, just let him.
We gotta move on. She can't answer that question.
No. Wait, we need you to shut up and move on. That's what we got to do. All right, guys. Go ahead, Bar. I'm
No. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on, y'all. All right, y'all. Quick announcement. We're gonna go ahead and go in order. SF, thank you for being patient over on my StreamYard, but there are people in front of you. It was Mac and God's Sword, and then we're gonna get to you, and then it's gonna be Coptic Tony. Once again, over on my YouTubes, if you would like to join, tiny.cc/Volsy Live. I'm gonna change that in a bit. I'll probably make it Volsy and Bar, but tiny.cc/Volsy Live, where you can join in. As you can see, there's already a guest here in the StreamYard. You guys can go ahead and join in. So don't tell me that doesn't work. Once again, dropped any gifts for the followers. Y'all make sure to gift up Lords. Y'all make sure to gift up Bar, because Lords is always amazing. If you're in the comments right now on TikTok and you would like to join, just join in on the guest box. Don't be afraid. We don't bite. And once again, we are here and we'll be here for a while. We appreciate y'all. Pump those numbers up. Thank y'all so much. It's was it Mac or God's Sword? Who was first, y'all?
Wait, before we go, can I read Revelations 1:14-16? I want to read this for the people that do not, for the people that that do not read their Bible. Wait a minute.
Hey,
Hold on.
SF, be quiet. It's not your turn.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Lords.
I want to read this for the people that do not read their Bible, right? And I'm going to read the King James Version, the nigga's favorite version. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. It does not say his hair. It says his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. That is what the Bible says. Unless y'all think this Bible is lying. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to say. That's what the shit say.
Very easy. Very, very easy. All right, guys, we are going to move on. I forgot if it was Mac or God's Sword first. So let's just go with Mac. All right, Mac, are you at least 21, Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite, and your picture looks a black person? Are you a black person? You there, Mac?
Could you do the other? I'm in the middle of a game.
He's in the middle of the game. All right, not a problem. Come back when you're done with the game. God's Sword, how's it going? Are you at least 21, Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite, or are you a black person?
Yes, Christian, black.
Cool. 21 plus?
I said yes.
All right, cool.
Nigga sound 50.
Nigga sound 50. All right, God's Sword. We're gonna be fair and give you a little bit more time since the other one went pretty long. We don't believe that black people should be Christian. Why do you think we should be?
Well, it goes back to your original argument. You said how we got Christianity is wrong, but that's irrelevant. We need to look at governance. As far as governance for black people, we only have two main forms of governance, which would be either Islam or Christianity, which have some form of tenure, right?
Why is that the case? Hold up, right there.
Because you don't have
you made a point.
Else.
Oh, slow down, right there. Don't nobody fucking move. Everybody, hold on. Why is it on the continent of Africa and in these United States where we were brought to as slaves? Why is it we either only have between Christianity and Islam? Why is that the case?
Because all the other ideologies are trash. If you were to follow Hinduism, you would be in a different caste. You would be a Dalit. And therefore, even your shadow, if it passed across a light-skinned Indian, you could be whipped for it.
Did you know that civilization? Did you know that civilization and culture was all throughout Africa long before Islam and Christianity was a thing?
Yeah, but they don't have tenure. That's the argument.
So
tenure.
And they can't stand.
Tenure. You talking about like longevity? Wait a minute. Are you talking about?
Wait a minute. Can you define the word tenure for me?
I think he just defined it. So because of the fact they have
tenure. Can you do it? What do you think it is?
Are you guys okay?
You think it's longevity?
Well,
hey, Sword.
No. Tenure of
everybody pause. Everybody pause. Hey, Sword. I am speaking. Everybody pause me real quick because I don't want to keep jumping back from this, that, and the third. Sword. When you say tenure, what do you mean by that?
meaning that it lasts more than 20 years.
Okay.
Right.
So if that's the case, Sword, stop. If that's the case, you're wrong, because there are hundreds of spiritualities that exist in Africa and have before Christianity and still exist today. So your claim that they don't have tenure is wrong. Historically wrong, anthropologically wrong, sociologically wrong, spiritually wrong. It is incorrect.
You don't understand the argument. Can you name the country, and which country has the premier governance of said spirituality?
No, that's irrelevant. But that wasn't your claim. Your claim was that tenure. Hold on, that wasn't your claim, Sword. Your claim was that it doesn't last more than 20 years. That is wrong.
That's what you said. That's what you said, and that's incorrect.
Right, but governance.
No, Sword. No, Sword. No, Sword. Sword. No.
Yes,
No, Sword. When I asked you what you mean by tenure, you said longer than 20 years. There are plenty of spiritualities in Africa that last longer than 20 years. Now, if you're gonna say what's the premier, if you're gonna ask what's the premier, if you're going to ask governance, what spirituality? Hold on, Sword. Shut up, bro. If you're gonna move your argument now to governance, officially, all these are supposed to be secular nations, but unofficially, yeah, we all know that they go off of Christianity or Islam, sometimes both, like over in Nigeria, like over in Senegal, they go by both. But at the end of the day, Sword, that does not matter. It does not make it true. Just because these African countries, just because these African countries use Christianity and Islam in order to rule their country does not make Christianity and Islam true. Because again, you already said that in Hinduism, we will have all this horrible shit happening, right? India uses Hinduism. China uses Confucianism. Are you going to become a Confucianist now because China has been Confucianist for the past 5,000-6,000 years? You're not. So what are we saying here, Sword?
We're not talking about a form of governance, bro. We're asking about the form of governance for a country. We require some form of governance for our people.
Sword, I understand that. Sword, again, I understand that. Sword.
Actual governance.
Sword, you're not. All right, you're gonna need to shut up and actually stop. All right, be quiet for a second. Sword.
Listen, he's gonna say governance a million fucking times. I don't know what y'all gonna do. He gonna say it 30,000 times.
Oh, you must have ran into him before already. So
yeah, he's gonna say it
governance a
billion times.
Cooks her regularly.
Hey, Sword. Listen to my.
Sir, you've never cooked meat. You can't even control yourself long enough to do that. I don't know. I've been on a panel with you. I've never even talked to you. I've never talked to you. I just know you because you keep saying governance, and it jogged something in my fucking memory.
All right. So, Sword, this is my point, right? Just because a certain group of people govern their country using the principles of a religion does not make that religion true. You understand that, right?
For the case of Islam, I would say, because it's providing an inferior form of governance. But within Christianity, we can see a superior form of governance to the point whereby you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. All right, Mac, are you ready to talk now or what?
Yeah, I'm all good, man.
All right, cool. Mac, you did say that you're at least 21.
Listen,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wait, can I just say something? I just say something to the nigga with the square haircut that just left out of here, Love K?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a doctor like Cheyenne Bryan is a doctor. That's the kind of doctor I am. I'm a doctor like Cheyenne. I've said multiple times to him, I'm a doctor like Cheyenne Bryan is a doctor. You should actually be more worried about your barber than whether or not I'm a doctor. Because I saw your fucking haircut. And that motherfucker is square.
He's living in a pineapple under sea. They got a square head. All right. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Mac, how's it going, Mac? You did say that you're 21 and that you're Christian and you're a black person. We don't believe that black people should be Christian. Why should we be?
Well, I feel like because Christianity is the true religion, albeit some people.
How do you prove that?
Well, one, I just look at the history. of what's written about Christ.
None of it makes it true.
Well, what would your standards need to be?
Well, my
that
standard
is filled to the fucking. Oh my bad.
My standard would need to be that they actually have evidence of something supernatural, which no one has ever come up with.
But like, what kind of evidence?
Something that's testable, demonstrable, scientific evidence.
Right.
I know,
demonstrable, repeatable. No, demonstrable. The evidence has to be demonstrable, repeatable, falsifiable.
Was there any supernatural event that happened in the Bible that we could use that?
So you're asking us. You're the one up here that said it was true.
Don't ask us.
Yeah,
no,
you're asking us. We don't know.
I mean, you're basically saying the only way we could believe that it is true is to be able to test it, in a science.
Sir, we're not saying, we didn't say the only way we could believe it's true. You believe it's true. You haven't tested anything, right?
Yeah,
we didn't say that.
You said that, when I said this is the reason to why I believe it's true, you said that doesn't make it true. And so I said, okay.
It doesn't make it true.
It doesn't.
You believe that that it's true. You don't know that.
Yeah. So that's, that's how we got here, because you said that
what that was me.
We would need
what that was me, Mac. So Mac,
evidence.
Mac. So okay, yes. In order to believe anything, you need evidence. Like, are you believe? Are you saying that you believe things with no evidence at all?
No, I'm saying we have evidence.
Okay, what is the evidence that we have something supernatural?
Yeah. See, now you're asking for something that's more of faith. We have
and
evidence.
You said you had evidence.
You said you have evidence.
Well, you know what? Can you just give us the evidence you have?
And when you say evidence, what are you looking for specifically?
Mac, you just said
what
you
is
had
it that you have?
Give us the evidence you have.
Yeah, but I was answering saying I had evidence more like in the sense of like who Jesus was, what he did, that there were people who claimed to see him and they were all
stories are not
consistent.
evidence. Reading the Bible is not evidence. Give us something.
We also have scholars who affirm that he was alive.
Mac, hold on, because this is what all apologists do, right? For first of all, I never made the claim that Jesus never existed, right? I have no problem with Jesus being a real guy. That's not the issue that we're having. Hold on, Mac. Mac. The middle of my sentence did not interrupt the beginning of yours.
Okay.
Let me finish what I'm saying first.
You're right.
So I have no problem with Jesus existing as a real person. It's still pretty much in dispute whether he was real or not, but scholars kind of accept that he was real. Cool, fine. That doesn't mean that he was a magic man that healed someone of blindness and then flew to the sky like Superman. Doesn't mean that.
Right.
So when you say we have, hold on.
Okay,
when you say we have evidence, I'm not talking about let's go through Tacitus, Pi the Younger, and Bart Ehrman talking about Jesus being a real guy. I'm talking about the evidence that he walked on water, healed the blind man, brought Lazarus back from the dead, died himself, 3 days came back later because he wasted a weekend in hell or whatever, and then flew to the sky like Superman. What is the evidence of those things? Is there any?
So could I ask a question? Is that okay?
No. What's the evidence of those things?
I don't want to make it look like I'm
Mac. What is the evidence of those things?
Yeah. So you're asking for proof of evidence that's something that we, like you do it as well. Like for example, do you believe Jesus was a real person?
Yeah, I have no problem with Jesus being a real person. Let's say
I don't.
That.
Well, what is your?
I don't believe that shit.
Huh?
What is your evidence for that? What is your evidence that he walked?
The strongest, that he walked. I want to know the strongest evidence that we have that he.
Wait a minute. You are the one that's supposed to be bringing.
But you look. I'm going somewhere with this.
Not the other way around. It's not we Muslim or Hebrew Israelites. That is the topic, right? It's not about whether Jesus was real or whatever. We're saying that they should not be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelites. Why do you think they should, Mac?
I'm gonna take you off mute real quick, Mac. All right, so Mac, we already know the answer to that, right? We should be, you think that we should be Christian because it's the truth. And then when we ask what is the evidence for this truth, you're gonna be like, okay, Jesus existed. Fine. That doesn't mean he was a magic man. What is the evidence that he was a magic man?
Yeah, so that's where I was going with the whole thing before you guys.
You don't have to ask me all the other questions.
No,
that doesn't matter.
I'm not. But
what is the evidence he was a
answer.
magic man?
No, but I got my answer. What I was basically trying to show you guys is that the same way that you say you believe in Jesus because people wrote about it, basically,
Who
You
said
believe
that?
that he was a person?
No one said that.
So do you not believe that he was a person?
No.
I don't.
Well, whoever said yes, that's what the person who I was
I
talking
don't.
to.
I could accept that he was that he was a real guy. Sure.
Okay.
I don't accept
and the same and the things that you use to accept that he's a real guy is the
It's
same thing that
archaeological
we
evidence. No, Mac.
Archaeological?
Mac. The way that
what do you
they
mean?
Mac, be quiet for a second.
Okay,
The
go
way
ahead.
that they established some sort of history that these people were real, right? Is basically like archaeological evidence, like things like that can show that they were established, independent sources, right? Like a good example is Julius Caesar. The reason we know that Julius Caesar exists is number one, we have his own writings. And not only that, other people who are not in the Roman Empire spoke about Julius Caesar. It's the same thing with Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great, we have coinage, we have historians from around that time, and we have other nations from around the area saying Alexander is invading us. So these people will have no reason to say a Greek foreign guy is invading me and make that up. People have no reason to do that, right? So when it comes to Jesus, right? Best we have is Tacitus copying Roman annals. We don't know where he got it from. That's the thing. We don't know where his source was. But the fact that we know that this was a historian copying Roman records, that's when we can say, okay, Romans were good record keepers. He's copying Roman records. Jesus was probably a real guy. You know what I'm saying? That's what we use. Now, was he a magic man?
Yeah, you're asking for something you can't really prove.
Exactly. So because we don't have that, why should we believe in anything supernatural?
Well, I mean, that's where faith comes in. Look at what
is faith reliable?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Faith is reliable?
Well, depending on what you're basing it off of.
Yeah, if you're basing it off the supernatural,
please have the evidence? I just want to know, can we have the evidence from Mac, who is the Christian, of why Black people should be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelites?
That's what we're kind of going down right now.
Well, tell us why. Why
Mac,
do
you already admitted that you don't have evidence that he was a supernatural magic man. So why should Black people believe it then?
Right.
Why do you think Black people should be Christian, Muslim, or Black Hebrew Israelite?
Yeah. So again, because what we have is consistent. And just by looking at the evidence of, I mean, I guess you can't see the evidence of a supernatural event. Like nobody can take a picture of somebody walking on water or anything. But I mean, I feel like that's kind of cowardly to even ask for.
Look,
Mac, it's not cowardly at all.
Wait, hold up.
Albeit,
what do you mean? No. What do you mean it's cowardly to ask for? It's cowardly to ask why Black people. That's what you came up here to answer. What do you mean it's cowardly to ask?
The insults are needed. He ran out of bullets.
No, you're misrepresenting what I was saying. I was saying you asking me for evidence of a supernatural.
Hold on, Mac.
Just hold up for a minute. Even if this is earlier when we first started, I told you I had a question I wanted to ask them that I usually wouldn't ask them. But he's gonna be my test dummy for this. So you think that the supernatural Jesus was a real person? Cool. Where was your Jesus during slavery? Where was he at?
He was in heaven.
Okay.
You know there are stories in Genesis where I think it was who was that? God, who was that walking around and shit? I can't think of the guy's name. Fuck. Is Abraham? Who was Abraham's son?
Isaac.
I just don't know the book. Yeah.
You talking about Isaac?
I can't remember which character it was, but in Genesis, it's because I have it on memory. I just can't remember the name. But in Genesis 33, 34, and 35, there's a story where the main character is traveling, and while he's traveling, God is telling the foreign people, do not touch him. If you mess with him, this is what's going to happen to you. This is what's taking place in the book of Genesis, where we see your God raining down terror and havoc, threatening people who are trying to target. Let me do this. Let me just do this right quick. 30 seconds. Hold up. Genesis. Jacob. That is, yes. Genesis 33, 34, 35 is about Jacob as he's traveling through these different cities and stuff. And I guess he had a target on his back because he stole Esau's blessing or something. They was looking for him. And the God literally told these people, you better not fuck with my boy Smoke. That's what God said in those chapters in Genesis. So if you believe in this supernatural Jesus, where was that energy during the transatlantic slave trade?
Yeah, so everything you're talking about is before the new covenant.
Do you believe in the Trinity? Hold on, wait. Do you believe in the Trinity?
Yeah.
You believe in one triune God, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit, different energy, same essence, whatever bullshit, right?
Yeah, different persons.
Is Jesus Christ and the Father the same, in your opinion?
In what way? Like they're the same in
same essence, different energy.
Yeah,
Do you believe that?
They're same in
cool. Where was Jesus during the transatlantic slave trade?
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, we're under a new covenant.
No, stop.
Matt,
listen,
you gotta stop.
just listen.
You gotta stop.
Stop doing. Do you believe in the Trinity?
Yes.
Is Jesus Christ, Yahweh, and the Holy Spirit 3 parts of the same entity?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Stop right there. Don't move. Is the Father and the Son one and the same? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Is Yahweh and Jesus Christ the same? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Where was Jesus or his father during the transatlantic slave trade? Where were they at?
Look, like I said, I'm in heaven.
Okay. Why is it that in Genesis 33, 34, and 35, God was protecting Jacob and he decided to stay in heaven when it was his turn to protect us?
Yeah, like I said, we're under a new covenant. So I think that was happening back then.
Can you show us the new covenant, sir? You've said
Jesus,
this multiple times.
But hold on.
Can you show us?
Jesus
can you show us the new covenant?
Because he about to take us.
Where is it
he
in
about
the
to take
Bible?
us somewhere.
Jesus said,
he about to hold on, wait, because you about to take us somewhere. We don't even have to go there for this conversation. You believe in the Trinity. It's the same God. So what are we talking about this new covenant for? What covenant what covenant are we under to where the God helps Jacob in the Bible and not black people during the transatlantic slave trade?
Well, love your enemies as you love yourself, and love the God, love your Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind.
That's
and the reason
that's some weak shit, Matt.
Wow.
Let me
just
say something. Matt, this is some really weak shit.
Jesus.
Are you saying that we got brutalized and enslaved and our entire culture stripped from us, but it's all gonna well because we're supposed to love these motherfuckers?
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
All right, so why didn't God protect us? We're not deserving of protection either.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
He didn't protect us. We got enslaved, so we weren't protected.
Yeah, but I mean, the world is sinful, right?
Okay,
what
stop right
what
there.
the fuck that got to do with us?
Wait, well, hold up. Wait a minute. Just hold up for a minute. When you read those stories in Genesis where God is protecting Jacob, there was people after him. The world was full of sin. Niggas was worshiping idols. They had all type of shit going on. People were using their free will to do all type of stuff, and God still came down and protected Jacob.
And what you are giving,
the question is, why would he do that for Jacob and not millions of black African people?
Well, what happened when when God did that?
It doesn't matter because God protected him despite. Listen to me. You're not listening to understand. You're listening to respond. Stop. This is listen.
Wait a minute. Hold up, Bar. Can you tell me what he's saying? What is Bar saying?
Yeah, he's basically trying to say, well, why would God save Jacob and do all that stuff for him while the people in the transatlantic slave trade were probably going through something worse, and he didn't step in for them instead. Right.
Okay, so can you tell us why?
Yeah.
What do you think that is? What do you think the reason for that is?
Yeah. So, in the case of Jacob, number one, or I really, this is like my biggest reason. God was using him for a specific purpose, right? So, I'd say him doing that for him was essential to bringing things to the way they are in order to fulfill what he said would happen.
Is our enslavement what he said? What happened?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
yeah. So
I mean,
God is a jerk.
but-
Fuck that guy. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and move on. We appreciate you. Once again, if you would like to join in and talk to us on the board, the link is in the description, tiny.cc/Volsi Live. We're gonna move on to who we have over on the StreamYard. Seven, how's it going, Seven? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. How are you, gentlemen?
Well, all right. So, Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite, are you at least 21? Are you a black person?
I am, and I am mixed race.
All right, great. We don't believe that.
Y'all be lying for the sake of conversation. What you mix? What do you mix with, brother?
What
do you mix
half
with?
White,
German,
and I am half black.
All right, you're half white, you're half black. All right, cool.
Bullshit. I don't believe you, but go ahead.
White mama or black mama?
White mom.
White mom. All right, cool. So, yeah. So,
yeah.
All right. We don't think black people should be Christian. Neither should you, as a mixed person. Why do you think we should be Christian?
I'd like to ask
No. Why do you think we should be Christian? No questions.
Listen. Can you please just answer the question, and then you can ask us a question? Do you regularly wait? Hold up. Seven. Do you regularly answer questions with questions?
Yes.
Okay. So this time, can you not do that? The host asks you a question. Can you answer it, and then you can ask him a question?
I will do my best for you.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
That's the white mom.
That's as much as we can ask for. Do your best. All right. Why do you think black people should be Christian? Go ahead, Seven.
All people should have the ability to read and understand.
We are talking about black people.
The word.
Can you not do that
in a healthy way?
Sir, we are talking about black people. Dude, if you are not comfortable with centering black people, sir, seven,
be quiet for a second.
If you are not comfortable with centering black people for this conversation, you should drop. We're not talking about all people. We are talking about black people.
All right. So Seven. We're talking specifically us. Hold on, seven. Please stop. We are talking about black people. I know and I understand that you think all people were created by God. That's fine. That's all good and well. Yay, Yahweh, whatever. We're talking about black people specifically. The way that we got Christianity, the way that your father and his fathers before him got Christianity was through force, enslavement, and through colonialism. That's how we got it, Seven. So we're asking, why should we follow the religion of our enslavers? Now you can go ahead and answer that question. You're off mute now. You can answer that question.
Okay. Slavery has existed for all of human history. All peoples, all races, and all creeds have been slaves.
I'm going to mute you again. Yeah, that's the white bomb. I'm going to mute you again because I need you to actually stay on topic and answer the question I'm asking you. I didn't say about enslavement on
let
all
the black
peoples,
side talk. I don't want to talk to the white side.
Bring the black side out, please. Let your daddy side out, please. All right. We're not talking about enslavement of all people. We're talking about specifically for black people. The way we got this religion is through colonialism and slavery. That's how we got it. So why do you think we should still follow the religion of our colonizers and enslavers? Why do you think that? That's all we're asking. There's not a trap question, bro. Not a trap.
You're misunderstanding.
Hey, seven. Listen to the question, then you can answer.
Yes, you're misunderstanding your own question.
No, I'm not misunderstanding my own question. I know what the fuck I'm asking. Don't do that. I'm asking.
You don't have to yell.
Specifically. Hey, this is my stage. You're gonna shut the fuck up. You're not gonna let your colonizer side out. You're gonna do what your black grandmama told you and listen to when you're spoken to.
His daddy black.
So when it comes to black people, the way that we got Christianity was through colonialism and slavery. Why do you think?
That's not true.
If you interrupt me one more time,
Can we go to
shut the fuck up while I'm talking.
Well, slow down, because hold up. Well, okay, go ahead, B.
Okay, so
go ahead, Vol.
No, shut up. So we're asking Seven. The way that we got Christianity was through colonialism and slavery. Why should we be the religion? Hey, Seven, do me a favor. When my mouth is moving, you don't talk. Can you do that? Because I know your black grandma taught you that. She taught you that, right? Can you do that for me?
Y'all assuming that black man. Let me shut.
Yeah, I know it's an assumption now, and I'm making Lord sin.
Why don't we just talk like this and get real mad and shit instead of actually listening to what we saying, huh?
All right.
Sir, you sound like a white man. You sound like a country white man.
There we go. That's all I needed to see. All I needed to see. Cool. That's all I need to see.
He said, "Why don't I just talk like this?" You think that's what
what black people sound like? It's like a crunchy ass white man. That's all I needed to hear. We already know. We already know. He ain't one of us. He ain't like us, y'all. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Be claiming to be mixed just to like. Man.
Oh man, we know he ain't mixed.
I'm mixed. No, the fuck. No,
and if he is mixed, we know where he grew up at. He didn't grow up like J. Cole. We tell you that much. He didn't grow up like him. he grew up like Drake. That's how he grew up. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and move on. I appreciate y'all.
Where she is?
There she is. I appreciate y'all. Y'all welcome. No, good. Y'all welcome. Be Easy and Ariel Almighty to the stage. We're gonna go ahead and welcome them to the stage. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for all the gifts that's going on, y'all. All everyone who's in the YouTube. Once again, the link is tiny.cc/Volsy Live for you to join. If you're watching me over on Twitch, it's the same thing. Tiny.cc/Volsy Live to join. We're welcoming Ariel Almighty and Be Easy to the stage, and we're gonna go ahead and speak to Coptic Tony. After that's going to be Dion. After that's going to be Koji. We appreciate you all. Thank y'all so much.
Wait, can we, Coptic, I know you've been up here for a really, really, really long time, but can we speak to Dion?
Oh. Yeah, that's actually what I was going to recommend. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Yeah, because everybody's saying Dion.
Can we speak to Dion? Because
yeah, sure.
I want his people to be satisfied.
All right, cool. All right, cool.
He looks Arab to me.
All right, cool. Dion, how's it going, Dion? Are you at least 21? Christian
Wait,
Muslim?
one more question. Coptic, are you one of Dion's people also?
As in, like, am I following him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm following Dion.
Right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, because he said he'll acquiesce to Dion. All right, not a problem. We'll go to Dion first and Coptic. All right, Dion, are you at least 21? Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite? Are you a black person?
Yeah, I'm 22. I'm Christian Catholic, and I'm not a black person. I'm white. I'm Bosnian.
Oh, okay, so that's why you have the color that you got. That's Southern Europe. All right, not a problem. Cool. We don't think that black people should be Christian, even though Bosnia is not the one that invaded and colonized Africa. It was the Western powers that did so. All that's good and well, but we still got it through colonialism and enslavement. So we don't think that we should be Christian. Why do you think that we should be? I don't think Bosnia should be Christian either. You should go back to your indigenous religion, worship Thor or some shit. Well, that was the Germans, but you get what I'm saying. Why should we be Christian as black people?
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that if Christianity were to help a black person be better within virtues, etc., then this would be a moral ought that they should do, becoming a Christian. That would be one way.
Do you have evidence that has happened? Can you give us some empirical evidence that Christianity has done that for black people?
For all black people?
For black people in general.
Black people in general.
Well, I've seen that happen to black people, specific black people.
All right, so Dion, here's the issue. I'm sorry, Lord. Go ahead.
No, I just want the empirical evidence because you said if it does that, then they ought to be Christian. Do you have any numbers that we can look at?
Numbers? I'd just be speaking from personal experience with what I witnessed with my own eyes.
So morality and like people's concepts of good and bad, they predate Christianity in Africa. African people had a sense of morality and spirituality and all of that stuff that you're talking about prior to Christianity. This is not exclusive to religion at all.
Yeah.
Morality is
Christianity
morality,
made it worse.
Exactly. Morality is subjective and it's tribe, culture, society, kingdom based. It's not exclusive. There is no objective morality that anyone should follow. When you look at African people, I'm sorry, when we look at African people and Christianity, are you familiar with because you're saying that Christianity has improved the morality of black people, right?
Well, no, my specific claim was that if Christianity can help a black person with virtues, then I think it would be a moral ought that they should do.
Right. So that question is a we're dealing with time, people, places, and events. We don't need a if. We don't need a hypothetical because we have actual history that we can examine and look at. When we look at Christianity, white European, what the gun slave cycle is?
No, sir.
Right. So what the European Christians was doing, right?
No, Bar. Ask him, does he know something?
Kill this nigga, man. I'm gonna kill this nigga.
Don't ask him about does he know something else. You mentioned the gun slave cycle. Just ask him, does he know anything
else? Kill that
else?
nigga. Mm-hmm. He don't even know he don't even know what waters he done stepped into. But what you saying, Lord?
I just want you to ask him about a couple of things that that religion has wrought upon, and I just want to know if he knows it. I just want to know if
basically like a
he
yes or no
really
question.
knows why he thinks that black people should be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelites.
Hey, y'all, can y'all please be calm down on what Bar said, y'all? It's just like saying
it's a figure of speech.
It's a figure of speech. It's just like saying that the Lakers are gonna kill the Clippers. Come on, y'all, relax.
Are people taking that seriously?
People are taking that seriously. Relax, y'all.
Your followers that followed you over here are taking it seriously.
My folk grown, they know not to act like
are
that.
taking it seriously. It's not us. It's the people that follow you that's taking it seriously. Do you think that? You think that they think that we are going to kill you in real life?
I don't know. I don't know their minds.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if they follow you. You don't know their mind.
Because
I have 17,000 people.
Wait. Here, hold on. Everybody pause. Let's not get sidetracked. Please, let's not get sidetracked. All right. So,
fraud for Christ said you probably would, bro. Y'all racist.
Yeah, my God.
It's the people that follow you.
It's all right, guys. Let's just try to get back to the conversation. All right. So I have a problem with what you said before, Dion, where you said that if it's gonna help them be a better person, then it's a moral ought that they should follow Christianity. The problem with that is that you can do that for any religion or any ideology. I became more moral as an atheist. So according to your framework, it's more moral for me to be atheist than to be Christian.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's not specifically what I'm arguing. The prompt says, you said that black people shouldn't be Christian, but if being a Christian would help a black person be a better person and have better morals and virtues, then I think it should be something they should do.
Is it necessary?
Is it necessary? What do you mean by that?
Is it necessary for a person to be a Christian in order for them to have morals and virtues?
Well, I would believe there's like natural morals that we could get.
It was really a yes or no, bro.
Well, it's kind of like a loaded question.
It's not. Is it necessary to be Christian in order to be a moral person?
To be a moral person? To have all morals, I'd say yeah. But
what does all morals mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, so I think basic morals we can get just from observing natural things within our reality. And then I'd say certain types of morals should be given through like divine ordinances.
Can you prove something divine?
What morals do you think that we can get from divine ordinances that we cannot get like from society? Or can you name one?
I don't know, didn't make a claim from society.
All right, that's not what she asked.
I'm asking you what because you talked about divine morals or divine instruction or something. What morals do you think we can get from this divine being that we can't get from anywhere else?
I'd say, let me think. I'd say probably, murder.
We can get that from ourselves, bro.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Yeah, because it's going to depend on what the individual person is going to see as just and unjust.
So,
well, no, you can't. You can't murder anyone. Murder is
unjustified
against
killing.
the law in every state in the union in the U.S. Right? It's unjustified killing. That's what murder is.
No, I agree with that, but oh, my bad. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, so Dion, every single society, whether religious or not, has always viewed killing someone unjustifiably as something wrong, right? Christians are not the only ones who think that. Neither are Jews, neither are Muslims, neither are Hindus. You can have a completely non-religious society like the ones like in Japan and China, and they still view unjustified killing as wrong. The Buddhists don't have a god at all. In some versions of Buddhism, the most popular versions of Buddhism don't have a god at all. They view unjustified killing as immoral. So obviously, you don't need a higher power or divine power to view that, because we're a social species. And in a social species, since we all have to survive with each other, there's like antagonizing your neighbors or unjustifiably taking away their life is always going to be seen in every social species as something that's wrong. So you don't need a god for that.
Well, my main thing is that what would societies see as just and unjust? There could be a society that sees, let's say, somebody jaywalking, that would be just for somebody to take their life. I would, let's say, disagree with that position. So I would believe there needs to be a divine ordinance to see what type of unaliving would be just.
Here's the problem with that, Dion, because in our society, I'm not sure if you know about American history. In our society, someone like me or Barr, simply looking at a white woman will be justified enough to hang me, right?
Yeah, and that's disgusting. That's
exactly. And so, in America during that time saw themselves as the premier Christian nation. So you see the problem there?
I don't think America was a Christian nation. No.
No, that's not what he said though. He said they saw themselves as that. He didn't say what you think about it. He said that America saw themselves as the premier Christian nation. He didn't say they were.
They even put "In God We Trust" on the money around that time because of that. We had revivalism going on all the time around that time. Matter of fact, this was around the time of the third revivalism movement around that time. And black people were still getting hung from trees. You see what I'm saying? So you see the problem there, right? Like a divine order is not necessary for anything you're talking about.
Well, I don't believe necessarily that with America would be a divine order. Let's say what they were doing to black individuals and what they're still doing today. I would see this as something going against what the church has declared to be what is moral and what isn't moral, and this would go against human dignity.
They're declaring that now, but the Catholic Church was fine with racism back in the day, bro.
They were fine with slavery.
The Catholic Church was okay with this.
They're the ones. They're the ones. The Catholic Church. They're the ones. Yeah, they're the ones who started slavery. So, and it's funny that you say, we need Christianity to know that killing is, is harmful, is bad. When again, the Catholic Church started slavery, and because of that, they unjustly murdered millions of enslaved people.
So, Beezy, when you say that the Catholic Church,
so wait a minute, have you ever heard the dumb diverses, Dion?
Excuse me?
Have you ever heard of the Doom Diverses?
The Doom Diverses? Is that Latin? I'm not sure.
So no, you've never heard of it?
If it's Latin, I wouldn't be able to know what Latin is. It sounds like Latin.
No, but it's Catholic though. I thought you're Catholic? No.
Are you Catholic or Orthodox?
No, I'm Catholic.
Okay.
So you have not heard of the Doom Diverses?
No.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Oh man, Lord, she stole my thunder there. So
so mine too, because he was getting ready because he was
she saved you earlier and came right back around to it with the belt.
Yeah.
No,
I knew y'all was gonna bring that up.
but I'm trying. This is why I have a hard time with this, right? Because besides him saying, well, if black people can get whatever he said they could get from religion, then they should be Christian. What other reason? Because if we're a fifth, we'd all be drunk, right? If is a lot is hanging on it, right? What other reason do you think that black people should be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
Well, I'd like to address real quick what you said with the doomed verses. Are you referring to the expansion of the New World?
I like how you pacified that language. That's not what the doomed verses is.
Well, I asked if it was Latin, and it was, and none of you guys answered me. That's why I was confused what it was.
Yes, it's Latin.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
No, but listen, either you know what it is or not. That's what I asked you. Did you know what it was?
Well, now I do. I don't know the Latin. I know the English translation of it. I know the document. It doesn't condone slavery.
No, that's why I said the Catholic Church started slavery because of the doomed verses, which you're unaware of. You don't know what they are.
No, I've read the document. When you say started slavery, are you referring to the transatlantic slavery? Specifically?
Well, yeah. Specifically, I'm referring to that slave trade, not the other Islamic one, the older and longer one.
Right, the Arabian slave trade, right? Yeah, I've read the document. It doesn't say that anybody should take anybody as slaves, and we have Pope Eugene, Pope Paul,
but your Bible
Pope Nicholas
does, though. Your
condemning
Bible
it.
says that. Your Bible in Leviticus says that people that are not Israelites can be slaves.
I don't grant
And they could be
anybody
slaves for life.
interpretation of scripture other than the pontiff.
And they can be slaves for life.
Right, so I don't think the Catholic Church.
So what does the Catholic Church
condone-
say about Leviticus 25:39 through 46? What do they say about it?
What it says is that people who were trying to use it to justify the transatlantic slave trade, that if they were to take these people as slaves, they were excommunicated from the body of Christ. Pope Eugene said this, Pope Paul and Pope Urban also said this.
Those are people.
You're being dishonest.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I can ask a question. Dion, did those people come before or after Pope Nicholas V?
They would have came after, I believe.
That's why I said you're being dishonest.
That's why I said
let's slow down. Let's pump the brakes for a minute.
Yeah. So Pope Nicholas V, he's the one that issued the dumb verses of the Catholic faith to basically go to war against Muslims and pagans in African territories and to submit them to perpetual slavery. It did facilitate
that's 1452, and then 3 years later, he didn't reject the doomed verses. He doubled down on it 3 years later and came out with the Romanist Pontifex that tells you to basically take everything. Those Africans have no sovereignty. All land, all that's doomed versus Romanist Pontifex, and then they come out with the Interkai Terra, which makes up the doctrine of discovery that's from the church that says anywhere we put boots on the ground that's not Christian, is ours. We have a right to take it from God. All three of those papal bulls make up the doctrine of discovery. The first two is what pushed the button on the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah,
are you familiar with Henry the Navigator was a Christian? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Henry the Navigator is my bad. Go ahead.
Right in the thick of things, in the 18th and 19th century and stuff, the Catholic Church, specifically the Jesuits, they owned most of the enslaved people in the Americas, including Georgetown University was in trouble, and the Catholic Church sold a lot of their slaves in order to come up with the money to finance Georgetown University and save it from closing.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I would say to all this information that I was giving, the first two documents, this is obviously addressing Muslims. It was a war between Christians and Muslims. The other instances, when it speaks about them going to this new land, that it be Christian soil, nowhere here does it tell these people for them to take these people as slaves. which is why when it was seen that this is what people were doing, Pope Eugene, Pope Paul, and Pope Urban, I believe, Pope Urban, they condemned this act and they said you're excommunicated if you do that.
But
What does perpetual servitude mean?
Perpetual servitude?
Yes.
Yeah, it means them being a part of their colonies.
Brother, that is not what perpetual servitude means.
That's all we're saying. You're being dishonest, Dion. Here's the thing, Dion. I understand that that Pope Urban and all them other stuff. People said that they shouldn't be doing this. The issue is, why were they doing it in the first place? Because of the dumb diverses that was issued in 1490 to 1452. That was the reason why they were doing it in the first place, bro.
Well, you notice he's skipping Pope Nicholas he's skipping the Pope that comes right before them to argue against the Pope that predates them.
Yeah.
He's using these people to argue against the guy that was Pope before them. You can't do that.
What I was saying, Pope Nicholas V, he never issued anybody to take these people as slaves.
That's what the verse says, though.
But right here,
he said you can reduce them to perpetual slavery. It did say that.
It doesn't say to perpetual slavery.
Yes, it does. It says, that's why I said it says perpetual servitude, and perpetual servitude is a lifetime condition where one person is bound to work for another without the freedom to leave or change employers or terminate the arrangement. That's what it says. That's what so it's slavery.
The reason why I disagree with that, because the same language is used in Vatican I when it tells the Catholics to have this type of notion towards the Pope. The Pope, I'm not the Pope's slave. He's not my owner. He doesn't own me. This same language is used in Vatican I. This is used in every single encyclical, and it's never used as that. And that's why other popes, they had to clarify this, and they condemned it.
No same language. No same language. No, they don't tell them to be to become perpetual servitudes.
It's in Vatican I, yeah.
What does Vatican I say?
Well, Vatican I is specifically addressing papal supremacy in light of the East and the Orientals.
What are you talking about? What does it say?
What does it say? It says that every creature should be subject to perpetual servitude to the Roman pontiff.
So slavery?
I'm not the Pope's slave. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
It depends what that language means.
I know you're not the Pope's slave, but that's literally what perpetual servitude is.
Well, within papal encyclicals in the Latin, that's not what it was used as. That's why I'm not the Pope's slave.
Okay, but
that language is just not used.
For everybody else who is not Catholic, who were the pagans and the Muslims and the non-Christians, what did perpetual servitude mean?
It means them being subject to the Roman pontiff.
So slavery?
No, I'm subject to the Roman pontiff. That doesn't make me a slave.
Yes, but you're not the one of the Muslims or the pagans or the Africans that they were at war against.
Yeah, to say you become subject to him means you become Catholic. That's all that means.
So forced conversion?
So do I have a choice to become Catholic?
Do you have a choice?
In this scenario, would I have a choice?
Yeah, you'd have a choice.
No,
I would have a choice to become Catholic.
Yeah,
y'all, I can't believe what he's basically saying, that the Catholic Church used the doctrine of discovery wrong now. Now, at first they were saying that the church used the Bible wrong. Now they saying that the church used the exact documents
But he's also, you're also saying that if they came and to colonize my place, that I would have a choice whether or not to be Catholic.
Yeah, that would be a straw man to what I said. The Catholic Church never had that misunderstanding. Spain and Portugal had this misunderstanding, which is why when the church found out what Spain and Portugal were doing to these people, the Pope after him, Pope Paul and Pope Eugene, they issued the verdict saying that if they keep continuing doing this, they are excommunicated from the body of Christ. They're not Christians.
And they kept on doing it because when did the Atlantic slave trade end, Dion?
I'd roughly say between somewhere 17th to 18th century.
Yeah, it ended in the 1800s, and none of the people you're talking about were excommunicated.
No, they were ipso facto.
Ipso facto, they were excommunicated after the fact.
No, so you're saying that
this is how it works. If I can explain, so when the Pope issues this verdict and says if you take these indigenous people as slaves and you do this to them, you're ipso facto, meaning you self-excommunicate yourself. You don't need a plenarily written letter to do this. You by yourself, you are excommunicated. And if people lived in this and they didn't repent for this or let people go, let them be free, yeah, they're burning in hell.
So you're saying
what?
Hold up, wait. Just
let me try to
this
understand
literally
this.
boils down.
So Dion, here's the problem. So you're saying that Pope Nicholas V is burning in hell then?
Pope Nicholas V wouldn't be burning in hell. Why would he?
But
be
he's the
burning in
one
hell?
that sent out the decree that they can perpetuate them to slavery. You understand that the dumb diverses that he put out is the one that facilitated the Atlantic slave trade. It's because of that that the Portuguese even started slave trading. You understand
It's their misunderstanding of the document, which is
Dion,
why the Pope
it's not
after him had to come and clarify it.
It's not a misunderstanding at all, bro. It's not a misunderstanding at all. No,
But
it's
this what I
not.
was- so
they
is- are
used
you
it in
trying
order to perpetuate slavery. It said perpetual servitude, which is slavery. And you're saying that the Pope after him is the one that said, okay, you guys can't do slavery, but they kept on doing it for another 200 years.
No, I already said
hold
that.
on. So
my bad.
Dion, was the Queen of Portugal also excommunicated?
Was the Queen of Portugal?
Yeah, because
I haven't read about the Queen. Go ahead.
during the slave trade, they were doing this under the Queen, right?
Okay.
So was she also excommunicated?
If she chose to still have slaves, yeah, she would have been ipso facto. Yeah.
All right. So the question then becomes, around that time, you know how close the church and the crown was. Why wouldn't those popes come out and excommunicate the royalty for perpetuating slavery? Why wouldn't they do that?
Because it was issued that they're ipso facto. It's already been decreed by the papal bull that if you do this, you're excommunicated. The Pope doesn't have to come out and tell you because it's already been issued.
So was she ever excommunicated?
I haven't read
Queen of
upon her,
Portugal?
but if she chose to have slaves after it's been clarified that you can't do this, she would have been excommunicated from the body of Christ.
But she wasn't. That's the thing. The church never came out and said that the crown is now excommunicated for what they're doing, because that would be a huge thing. You know, the church and the crown were very, very close around that time. They were basically one and the same. So if they were excommunicating, if the Pope after Nicholas says that you're excommunicated for being part of slavery, you understand the upheaval this will cause in those European societies, because the church and the crown were basically one and the same. So basically they were excommunicating the crown. And this never caused an issue in European societies?
I would believe it did cause an issue, but what I would say is that the Pope doesn't have to explicitly go to the Queen and say this.
Dion, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. The crown, all the crowns around that time in Western Europe, because they were all Catholic, the crown around those times were participating in slavery. That was what was happening from Spain to Portugal to France. The crown was participating in slavery. If the Pope around that time says, if you're participating in slavery, you are excommunicated, but the crown never has an issue with the church, what you're saying is a huge problem.
How did they enforce this ipso facto excommunication? How would they enforce that?
It was enforced by sending legates to all of these nations. Right, and it was go ahead.
The Spanish crown was never excommunicated. The Habsburg dynasty was never excommunicated. How did they enforce?
They were ipso facto.
Dion, how did they enforce it? Can they still go to mass if you're excommunicated?
If you're excommunicated, no.
But the crown still went to mass. They all still went to mass. That's the problem I'm having, Dion. All these people. It's in historical record. You understand that Europe has, Dion, you do understand that Europe has one of the most extensive historical records ever, right? We know when the crown and when the nobility went to mass. So the crown and the nobility were all still going to mass while slavery was going on. So how do you explain this? How do you explain this tension? Because on one end, you're saying that the Pope is going to excommunicate you for participating in slavery. The crown and the nobility all throughout Western Europe still did slavery even after this. Number three, they still went to mass even though they were excommunicated. How do you explain that?
Well, you'd have to prove they still went to mass. And even if they decided to go to mass and partake of the sacraments, they're eating damnation upon themselves. So, I mean, you'd have to just prove this.
I'll have to prove what? That Catholics do mass?
No, you'd have to prove that this Queen of Portugal, after it's been issued and she still chose to still have slaves and she's excommunicated, that she still went to mass. That's what you said. You said we have historical dates of that.
Let's slow down for a minute.
All right, man.
So just hold up for a minute. So you brought up Pope Paul and Pope, which other Pope? He's gone. You brought up Pope Paul, and then which was the other Pope that you brought up?
Yeah, what was the Pope? He said Pope Urban and someone else. What were the popes after?
He said Urban, Paul, and Gregory. So
yeah, because the Pope after Nicholas V was Calixtus. It wasn't Urban or Gregory or any of them.
But even still, when you look at, because I thought those names sounded familiar, and they do. When you look at Pope Paul, when you look at Pope Paul, when he was Pope, they came out with the Sublimis Deus that I talk about. The Sublimis Deus comes out in the 16th century, where the church said, we're not going to enslave those indigenous people here in these Americas like we're enslaving those black people. We're going to let those indigenous people go free, but those black people are not to go free like the indigenous people. They made a distinction between the two. They didn't abolish the Dum Diversas in the Romanist Pontifex or the Interkite Terror. They literally made an exception for the indigenous people in the 16th century. And then when we look at Pope Gregory, if I'm not mistaken, he condemned the transatlantic slave trade, but the enslavement of black people continued on. Like, you're being dishonest. This man is literally up here saying that the Pope who issued out the Dum Diversas in Romanist Pontifex used it wrong. These decrees come out like he said it because I wanted y'all to catch it, but he said it. He said the Christians and the Muslims were fighting. The Africans were already converted to Islam by that time. Africans were because the trans-Saharan slave trade had already commenced and been taking place long before the Europeans got there. That's why it says Christian, Muslim, and Hebrew Israelite. Muslims are on the table as well as the Christians because of their violence and crimes. But the Muslims, the pagans that are being explicitly talked about in the Dum Diversas and Romanist Pontifex are Africans, because what was going on at the time? What territory were they what territories were they discovering?
And Volse, I just want you to know that this excommunicated queen had a Catholic funeral and she was buried in the monastery.
Yeah,
literally,
Queen
he's
Maria,
being
right?
dishonest on every level.
Yeah, all of these people that were excommunicated, they had Catholic funerals.
All right, so King Dion, I'm sorry, I said King. So Dion, I found a king, right? King John III of Portugal. His name is called John the Pious. Right? John the Pious expanded slavery. And guess what he was, if he's calling him pious? He was devoted to the Catholic faith and he always attended mass. So when you're saying that the popes took away the Dom Diversas and say that, if you do this, all of a sudden you're excommunicated.
He's gone. He's gone. All the ipso factos had Catholic funerals. I just went and looked it up. All the ipso factos had Catholic funerals.
Yeah, they all did.
And you know what?
Yeah,
It's funny. It's funny if I want to issue a decree, and then multiple centuries later,
look. All of his people. He said, "Give him a second. Give him a second. He has to do something."
I did give him a second.
All the ipso factos had Catholic funerals. These people were not. These rulers were not excommunicated.
Yeah,
they were not excommunicated from the Catholic Church.
Yeah, he's lying. No, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, anybody who's a baptized Catholic is allowed to have a Catholic funeral. That's noted in the
I
Magisterium.
know, but I thought you.
So try again.
So let me ask you a question.
Try again.
Let me ask you a question.
Hold on,
Let me
Dion.
ask you a question.
Try again.
Let me ask you a question.
Let's try again.
Let me ask you a question.
Dion,
Can I ask you a question?
You need to stop that.
Sir,
You're gonna
can
have
I
to
ask
stop
you a
with your
question?
Freemasonic.
Go ahead, Lord.
Sir, what are you talking about? Now you're about to crash the fuck out.
He's crashing
I'm
out for a
asking
reason.
Well,
you,
you're lying,
if
and I'm
I'm
gonna address that lie.
Sir. So what if I'm wrong? Why you gotta act a fool?
Then why are you acting like you know? Why are you making?
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Dion,
If
please.
I'm excommunicated, if I'm a Catholic and I'm excommunicated, can I have a Catholic funeral?
If you're baptized a Catholic, yeah, anybody's given that. That's a magisterial
So can I ask you a
statement.
question? So what is the purpose of excommunication?
Meaning they're outside
What is the
body.
purpose? Yeah, he dropped, and then that nigga put a battery in his back, and he came back crazy. What is the purpose of excommunication?
Yeah, for them to be separated from the body of Christ.
Okay, great. So Dion, here's the problem.
So how do they
I
enforce that? Wait a minute. How do they enforce that?
Enforce
How does
what?
the Catholic Church enforce
excommunication?
Excommunication. How do they enforce it?
They send legates to all these nations, and they tell them, "Hey, if you do this, you're excommunicated." And if you do that, you're excommunicated.
So let me ask you a question. So how does the excommunication? Let's say I'm the queen and I just do what I want to do anyway. How does that excommunication affect me in life?
How does it affect you in life?
Yeah, how does it affect me?
Yeah, so you're going to be separated from the Roman pontiff, and you're going to go to hell.
Okay, so Dion, I don't think you understand what I'm asking.
So it only matters once I die.
No, what I'm saying is that the church never decreed this or taught this. I could care less about what a king or queen does.
I don't think you're understanding what she's asking here. As a if you for example, when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, right? When you're excommunicated, what happens to you in real life is that all your former friends and people that you had, they all stop talking to you. That's how it affects you in real life.
No.
So when you're talking about
asking how, what I'm asking is how does it? What is the purpose of excommunication? If you can still have a Catholic funeral, if you can still have, what is the purpose of it? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, a Catholic funeral is just when you have a priest who prays over you. That's it.
All right, hold on. Let me just clarify this, Dion. We already agreed before that if you're excommunicated, you cannot attend mass, correct? Okay, so
how can you not attend mass but still have a Catholic funeral in a Catholic church?
I already told you a Catholic funeral is just when a priest prays for
Dion, that's fine, but you're still running into a tension. You're still running into an issue. John III of Portugal expanded slavery, and he always attended mass. He was called John the Pious. How do you explain that? If all the people who hold on, Dion, listen. No, you didn't. You said that if you're excommunicated, you cannot attend mass.
Who told you that? He didn't say he did. He asked you who told you that.
So Dion, I'm correct about, right? If you're excommunicated, you cannot attend mass. Am I right about that?
I mean, you can go there, but you can receive the sacraments, and you're gonna receive them invalidly.
So why was John III of Portugal called John the Pious, and he expanded slavery? How do you explain that?
Who was he called John the Pious by?
That's literally his like just like how you know who Alexander the Great is. That's your titles. Like Alexander
gave him that title.
Hold on, Dion. You see Alexander the Great, Vladimir the Terrible, etc., etc. John III was called John the Pious because of his deep faith his deep devotion to the Catholic faith. But according to you, he should have been excommunicated.
Yeah, well, Vladimir was called the Terrible by the Ottomans, by his enemies. So I'm just asking you,
John the Pious was called the Pious by the church. That was his title.
By the church? Let me see that.
Fucking Christ, bro. So now I gotta find everything for you.
Don't use my Messiah's
I'm just
name.
trying.
Try again.
Hey, fuck your Christ.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to figure out.
Hold on, everybody pause. Dion, you don't tell us. Shut the fuck up. Dion, you don't tell us what to say on our stage. Shut the fuck up. Stop porking out, Dion. Dion, stop honking out. Stop honking out. Dion, stop honking out. Dion, stop honking out. Dion, stop honking out. Stop honking out. We do not stop porking out, dude. Stop cracking out. Hey, stop cracking out. So Dion, shut up. Dion, you don't tell us what to say. Dion, you don't tell us what to say on our stage, bro. You don't control that. Hey, colonizer, you don't tell us what to stay on our stage. Okay, this is our stage. Hey, stop porking out.
You liar.
Stop porking out.
You're a liar.
Stop cracking out. All right, stop bleaching out.
Okay,
Stop bleaching out.
I'm just trying to figure out. What does the excommunicate? How does it affect the person that is Catholic? I still can't figure. Does it only mean when he dies? Does it only affect him when they die?
Who told you I was a colonizer? You already said I didn't do that.
I didn't say that.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Hey, stop bleaching out and answer her question.
Bleaching out?
Yeah, stop.
I'm asking,
stop honking out and answer her question.
Wrong type
I'm
of way.
asking
I'm not a honky.
how does it how does
you want to run it from that
affect
host? It's okay. I'll let that slide.
Stop bleaching out and answer her question.
I'll let that slide. Don't worry. I already answered this question.
No,
play
you
the
didn't.
video back. Yeah, I did. Play the video back. Maybe if you stopped over talking and yelling.
She asked you, how does it affect you in life? And you never answered that question.
I did. Play the video back.
You
dingus.
said that you're separated from the church.
Play the video back, dingus.
Hey, colonizer. Colonizer. Hey, colonizer. Hey, colonizer. Hey, colonizer. Hey, bleach face. Hey, colonizer. Hey, sour cream citizen. You're on our stage, sour cream citizen. You're on our stage, sun dodger. Please stop. Please stop alleviating.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Look.
You already answered it. No, we could calm down. We could calm down. So you've already answered this. You said that the answer to this question is that you're separated from the body of Christ. So there is no actual there's nothing that really happens. Then someone just tells you you're separated from the body of Christ, and that's essentially it. Is that it?
You asking me a question?
Yes, I'm asking you a question. Is that it? You're separated.
I already
from the body of
answered
Christ.
your question, dingus. Play the video back.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
suck my dick, bitch ass nigga. All right, cool. We're gonna go ahead and move on.
Is telling y'all that God's gonna punish them.
Everyone submit to Rome.
Talking about.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out.
God bless
And
everyone.
maybe this is maybe this is just me. Maybe this is just me. I'm just trying to figure out, right? How does this ipso facto excommunication work if you are still able to participate in the sacraments and the rituals and the everything of the Catholic Church? That's what I was trying to figure out. How does it work?
So
that's all I'm trying to figure. That's all I'm trying to figure. Can you explain that to me, Coptic?
Yeah, and a Catholic can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe
Oh, you're not Catholic? Oh no, well I don't want to. If you're not Catholic,
no, I'm
okay. But if you're not Catholic, I need someone that's Catholic to come and tell me. If you're excommunicated, how can you still participate in all the things the Catholic Church offers and the rights and the everything if you're excommunicated? How does that work?
Right. So that's all we're asking. If you're still able to take the sacraments and everything like that, what exactly is the excommunication for then? No one's gonna stop you.
Listen,
so what is the excommunication for?
First of all, I am atheist. None of this shit. I don't know the difference between Coptic and Catholic and none of that. I don't know. That's for y'all to figure out. Once he said, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
He already told you guys the sacraments are no longer valid.
Michael's not your turn.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Are you Catholic, Michael?
Yes.
Are you Catholic for real?
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
Cool. So,
I think you're lying. But
so we hold on, wait, pause real quick.
What's your basis for thinking?
Hold on, Michael. Be quiet for a second. Coptic, did you want to talk or are you gonna let Michael talk?
Oh no, he says he gotta go.
Hold on.
I see you later. All right. So Michael, if the sacraments are no longer valid, blah blah blah, what exactly is either the punishment or stopping you from taking the sacraments if you're excommunicated? Nothing, right? Does anyone stop you from taking it?
No, because the priest could not know that you're excommunicated.
How would a priest not know if you're excommunicated if the person who was before said that they send out these letters to all these nations telling them that they're excommunicated? As a matter of fact,
I do know what a Catholic is. I just don't give a fuck. What I'm asking is, right? What kind of teeth does this excommunication have if you're still able to participate? This ipso facto, the things the church has to offer while you're still alive, especially if your priest doesn't know.
You're confusing like just the ability or just like modally speaking what it means to be able to do something.
No, as a matter of fact, Michael, it's not even your turn. Hold on, I'm cutting you up because it's not your turn yet, and we're way off the topic anyway. So the entire thing came up because Dion said that they're excommunicated when we clearly have Catholic leaders during the slave trade who are not excommunicated and were called pious. So his entire thing is bullshit.
To prove that, and you threw a fit.
Hey, Michael, I already brought up John III to call John the Pious of Portugal, who expanded the slave trade. Who expanded the slave trade? He expanded the slave trade, and he was called John the Pious. What do you want me to prove?
All claims. Prove it.
What do you want me to prove? You want me to put it up on the screen?
Called him that.
All right, you want me to
conversation?
You want me to put it up on the screen?
Yeah, he asked you that like 30 minutes ago.
Do you want me to put it up on the screen? I'm asking you yes or no. You want me to put it on the screen?
I said yes.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna. Hey, Michael, do me a favor. You're not gonna do the snarky shit. You're not gonna do the snarky shit. Hey, shut up. You're not gonna do the, shut up. You're not gonna do the snarky shit. Can we calm down now? You're not Dion, bro. I don't know why you so mad on somebody else. Mad about somebody else. You're not Dion. So it's your own live. You're the one talking right now. Matter of fact, you're not even supposed to be talking. It's supposed to be Koji. But we're gonna talk to you for a second. So let's bring it down. Can we do that? Can we chill and bring it down? We're gonna be okay.
Yeah. So you don't want me to answer Doctor's question?
Hey, first? Michael. I'm just asking.
Y'all aren't really organized.
Michael, I'm just asking you. Are we gonna chill? Are you gonna be okay? And can we have a conversation? Can we do that?
Well, I am chill. You interrupted me first.
I interrupted you because this is my space. It's not your space, is it? So answer the question, please. It's a yes or a no. Are we gonna be chill and have a good conversation? Yes or no?
Yeah, we can. That's
all right,
speaking
cool.
For me. I don't know about you.
Cool. We can. Cool. All right. So I'm gonna put it on the screen that he was called John the Pious. When I put it on the screen, what are you gonna say then?
I'm gonna read it. It's probably gonna be like Google AI or something, but
yeah, cool. Right here.
Oh, it is Google AI.
Yeah, John the Pious.
That shit. Pre-fired that shit. Yeah, that's Google
so
AI.
It comes from the Encyclopedia Britannica. That's the source. Encyclopedia
Britannica. Happening?
Damn. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is happening. All right, so Michael, it came from the source of Encyclopedia Britannica. How is that
pull the source up, not Google AI? I didn't want Google AI.
Oh, you want Britannica then?
Yeah, go read it for yourself, bro. Come on.
Here it is. Yeah, John III, John the Pious. Here he is. King of Portugal from 1521.
Where does it say Pious?
John III was king of Portugal from 1521 to 1557. His long reign saw development of Portuguese sea power, etc., etc., etc.
Where does it say Pious?
Okay, cool. Pious. Also known.
Oh, it says it nowhere.
Also known as John the Pious.
That's not in the actual article. That's in like what he's called on the top. That's not actually what the church
what do you
saying.
think it came from?
Where does it say the church called him that?
Where does it say that the church called him John the Pious? Where do you get the name from? That was your
claim, yes.
Where do you think you got the name from?
No, now you're asking me questions. I'm saying, where does the article say the church called him that?
All right, man.
Now you're stuck. Now you're like, you don't know what to do.
All right, fine. Let's go ahead and look up where he got the name John the Pious. So, but you understand that he was called John the Pious, correct?
Yeah, right, he was called it.
Yeah, he was called John the. He was called John the Pious. Why would they call him John the Pious if he didn't go to church? Why would they do that?
What? Bro, what kind of?
Why would he be called John the Pious if he wasn't pious to his faith? Why would they do that?
Like the same way.
Was he pious to his faith? Was he pious to his faith, or what? Was he pious to his faith?
The people who called him that may have thought so. I don't know.
All right. Why would they call them that if he wasn't pious to the faith?
Do you think just because someone has a name that means like?
I'm asking you a question, bro.
Right?
Why would they call him John the Pious if he wasn't pious to the faith? Why would they call him that?
I don't know. Like, why are you asking me this? I'm not the people that called him it.
Okay, cool. But you understand that he was called John the Pious.
Yeah, like Ivan the
All right,
Terrible was
great.
called terrible
Yeah.
by the Ottomans.
And he was,
not the
and he was,
Russians.
and he. Why was he called Ivan the Terrible? Because he was a terrible person, right?
The Ottomans thought so, not the people that.
And why did the
not
Ottomans
Russians,
think
no.
so?
Because he was like messing them up. I don't know.
Exactly, because he was terrible. Great. So he was called John the
No,
Pious.
I'm saying they
he was
called
a
him that.
Why was he not excommunicated? Because I never heard of a pious person being excommunicated.
Bro, you're just asking me these questions to get out of you proving it.
Proving what?
Oh, now you're lost in the conversation. You don't know
Yeah,
what you're
I'm
trying
very
to
lost
prove?
where we are. Where are we now? What are we doing? Because
I
the
said prove the church called him pious.
first y'all denied that he was called John the Pious. Then when I showed he was called John the Pious, now we're moving to something else.
No, Dion never denied he was simply called pious. He denied that the church called him pious.
He thought that
So
the
you
church
don't know how
called
to
him
track
pious.
the conversation.
All right, great, Michael. So where did he get the title from then?
Bro, do you not understand the analogy of Ivan the Terrible?
I understand the knowledge of Ivan the Terrible. I'm asking, why would they call him pious?
What if he called himself pious? Like, I know someone that calls himself Baby Athanasius.
No, this is his title, my guy. King King III of Portugal is called the Pious. That's literally his title.
All right, what if like his best
As a
friend
matter of
called him
fact,
when
he's the
church
one
never
that
called him?
introduced the Inquisition. Now that's the part I didn't know. Now and he heavily supported missionary work. That's the part I didn't know. I didn't know he even introduced the Inquisition. That was him. I didn't even know that part.
Yeah, bro, just prove it was a title given to him by the church.
Okay, let's say I can't prove that. Cool. Now what?
All right, then your entire argument's like in the ground.
No, it's not.
Is your argument not that the church supports slavery or whatever?
Yes, and they did.
Oh, so if the church never called him pious and he's not really in the church, then what's the argument?
That would be stupid, bro. He was called pious for a reason.
Okay, where did the church call him pious?
It doesn't matter if the church call him pious or not. He has a
not pious
title.
if the church didn't
He
call him
has
pious.
the title John the Pious. Why would they call him that if he didn't support the church?
Yeah, but there's a lot of excommunicated people in history that are called pious, like Nestorius. So I don't see the relevancy.
Wait, who?
So
Nestorius?
All right.
I don't even know where that is.
Let's look.
The Nestorian heresy, the guy who started the Nestorian
Hey.
heresy, he was called the most pious. That doesn't mean the church had that.
Give me a few ticks.
Mhm.
So when we started with the Dion guy, he started off by saying, if Christianity improves the morality of a black person, then they should be Christian. And my response was, we don't need we don't need a hypothetical when we're dealing with actual human history. There's a reason why black people are Christian. We need to examine those reasons to determine whether or not we think black people should be Christian, right? We're not individuals, we're a group. When they oppress, when they come up with this legislation and they take away voting rights and all that shit, it affects us all, not one or two black people. The things that they've done, it doesn't affect one. You know, it's for the group. So we're talking about the group as a collective. When we speaking on the group as a collective, when we look at history, black people should not be Christian. The church started the transatlantic slave trade, not slavery. When we look at the transatlantic slave trade, it is justified with those first two papal bulls that make up the doctrine of discovery. That is how they get the ball rolling on the transatlantic slave trade, Dumda versus Romanus Pontifex. When we go back to his hypothetical where he says, if Christianity improves the morality of black people or whatever, I was basically going to show him what happened when Christians came in contact with black people who were not Christian at the time. What did they do? That's why I asked him, did he know about the gun slave cycle? He said no. If you don't know what the gun slave cycle is, look it up. Where the European Christians turned Africa into an arms race. That's how they feel the transatlantic slave trade. Okay. As we modulate, he brought up those different popes that come after Pope Nicholas V. None of those popes condemned the transatlantic slave trade. We talk about, he brought up Pope Paul. Pope Paul came out with the Sublimis Deus that talks about not enslaving the indigenous people of the Americas. It did not apply to Africans or black people. Black and African people were still subject to slavery, racism, and oppression, even with the Sublimis Deus. When we look at Pope Gregory, that's after Pope Paul, Pope Gregory condemned the transatlantic slave trade. He did not condemn the enslavement of black people. He mentioned the Christians and the Muslims fighting. Yes, they were fighting over a multitude of things, religious, political, geographical, all that shit. They were fighting over it. You look at the Church of the Holy Wisdom, the Muslims literally fucking blew a hole in that bitch with a cannon. They blew a hole in it. The Muslims took the Hagia Sophia and turned it into a mosque. So we see that they were fighting over politics, religion, geography, all the works, right? Africans were just simply caught in the crossfire. You know what I'm saying? But I said all this to say that black people got Christianity through slavery, and we got Islam through slavery as well. We should not be Christian. It was forced on us. It was brought to us by the enemy, the colonizer, the oppressor, all of that. That's why we shouldn't be Christian.
All right. And can I go ahead and correct myself? Yeah, that was a misstatement by me. All right. He wasn't called that by the church. He was called that later by historians because of his devotion to the church. All right. So I'll correct myself on that. I'll have no problem correcting myself. It was a mistake. It was a mistake for me to say that. All right, cool. So everybody's good now. It was a mistake for me to say that he called himself the church called him pious. That's fine. All right. I can make my mistake. Here's the issue that I'm still having. He had the deep devotion to the church, and he attended mass. He got the sacraments, all that other good stuff, right? Very, very deep devotion to the church. He sent out missionary work. Him and the church were very, very close. If you were supposed to be excommunicated, if you did slavery, and yet this man expanded slavery and still had deep devotion and connection to the church, how is that explained? That's the problem that we're having there, along with everything that Bar said. And Michael, you can still have a few minutes, but we got to move on to Koji because he was before you.
But that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what teeth does this ipso facto excommunication have? Because that's the words he used. What teeth does this ipso facto excommunication have?
I was trying to answer that, but I got interrupted by the host earlier.
No, I had the same question, Michael. I had the same question. Like, what? If you can still get the sacraments, you can still get a Catholic funeral, you can still attend mass, even though you're excommunicated. What teeth does it have? What happens then?
Yeah, earlier I started my sentence before I got interrupted. I said, you guys are equivocating on can here, right? Can here is just being used like modally, or in the sense of like possibly, right? Yeah, of course, possibly you can take sacraments. Just like anybody can. Any unbaptized person can take the sacraments. That doesn't make them valid, but that doesn't make it correct to take the sacraments.
That's all good and well, Michael, but the question
is... So that's what I mean. What teeth does it have? Like,
it makes the sacraments invalid, and if you take the sacraments,
as far as them living, not after they're dead, as far as them living, because we do know that Queen Isabella I did not get excommunicated.
And John III did not get excommunicated. So that's what we're trying to point out here. His claim in the beginning was that if you participated in slavery, the popes excommunicated you. But we have several royal lines of them not being excommunicated, and slavery was happening. So what does that do for that claim, Nigel?
Well, he already said it was ipso facto excommunication. So
I know, I understand ipso facto. What I'm saying is that in ipso facto excommunication, he said that you actually get letters and stuff like that. Are you saying that these kings, queens, and the nobles all got letters that they were excommunicated for participating in slavery and never said anything about it? Like, that would be a huge issue in European society back then because of how close the crown and the church were. You saying that they got the letter but never said anything?
Well, there's many instances of the crown disobeying the church. Like, that's not really having any bearing on the actual claim.
No, we know that the crown disobeyed the church. I'm not denying that. I'm talking about excommunication, because that's a major thing. If the church is going to excommunicate a royal, that's major. And you're saying that it didn't cause any crisis in these European societies?
Yeah, you said it was ipso facto excommunication.
Michael,
Well,
I
here
know
you
it's
went over
ipso
this.
facto. That's fine. What I'm saying is that if they got actual documentation
Right.
saying that they're excommunicated, you're saying that the crown never said anything about it. That would cause a
said
huge
that
issue.
he said that they would send a legate to the queen.
Yeah, that shit. That
That's what he said.
explanation
He
was.
literally said that they would send a legate to the queen. I don't understand how it's ipso facto if they're
That's
sending.
official excommunication. Ipso facto.
Well, no,
means
but that's what he
I
said.
wanna
That's
move
what
on.
Dion said, though. He said that they would send a legate to the
No, you're
queen.
misunderstanding
That is
him.
what he said. No, sir, I'm not misunderstanding him.
Ipso
That is
facto
what he said.
excommunication requires no
That's
declaration.
exactly.
That's
You're
exactly
backtracking
what
on
he
what
said,
Dion
though.
said because he was wrong. It doesn't need letters to be sent out because by the fact that you did the thing, automatically you're
He
excommunicated. You
literally
don't need
said that they
letters
would send a
and
legate
documentation.
out. That's what he said.
He was saying that for official excommunication.
No, he said it for ipso facto excommunication.
That's not what he said, Michael. We can play it back. Michael, he said that in under ipso facto excommunication, we asked them how would they know and how is it enforced. They said they get legates.
And he
That's
said
what he
they
said.
would send a legate out. That's what he said.
All right, play it back.
No, we're not playing it back. That's what he said, bro.
Also, hold up. Can we move on? But the reason why I
we're
want to
gonna
move on.
We're gonna move on to
because
Koji. I'm sorry. We're gonna
all
move
of
on
this
because we've been on this for.
Indo, outdo, epso, lepso. It didn't stop shit. What the fuck are we talking about? It didn't stop shit.
Yeah, Michael. The entire point is that we still got slavery, Christianity through colonialism and slavery. What are we talking about here now? Now at the point.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter.
Now, listen, now his followers are trying to pretend that he didn't say that they would send a legate out to these people for this ipso facto communication.
That's what he said.
He
That's
said
definitely
it.
what he said. That's what he said.
He said it.
As a matter of fact, he said it multiple times.
So, okay.
Koji's next.
Yeah, Koji's next, and then Liam is after Koji.
All right. How old are you, man?
22.
Christian, Muslim, Black, Hebrew, Israelite.
Eastern Orthodox Christian.
Cool. Black people shouldn't be Eastern Orthodox Christian.
And why is that going to be the case?
I don't think Black people should practice any religion used to justify oppression, racism, any of that. And I don't think we should practice religions that we were introduced to during transatlantic slave trade or during the trans-Saharan slave trade. That's what I think. That's my subjective morality talking.
Okay,
do you think we should practice religions introduced to us during slavery, during racism, and at the height of racism and oppression? Yes or no?
So when it comes to like the Eastern Orthodox Church, right? Because I'm going to be addressing this. Why
are you speaking like that? Is somebody
okay?
Sorry, before you get started, I
It
gotta
doesn't
go,
matter.
y'all. I'll see y'all later. I'm going outside. Bye.
No problem, Ariel. Thank you for being here.
But the Eastern Orthodox Church.
Eastern Orthodox. What is the Eastern Orthodox Church? Are you talking about the church that's in fucking Russia?
The Eastern Orthodox Church is just going to be the one that's going to be established from St. Andrew and
Yeah,
all the
Koji, we don't
apostles.
care. We shouldn't be that either.
What
We can't
does the
show that to be
Eastern-
true.
What does the Eastern
I don't-
Orthodox? Hold up, wait a minute. What does the Eastern Orthodox Church have to do with Black people?
I mean, I'm going to give it, but like, can I at least address my point before I get interrupted?
Koji, we're gonna let you address the a point, right? But the point can't be deviated from what we're talking about. We
not
cannot.
going to
Hold
deviate
on,
from the
hold on, Koji. We already like Bar already laid out that we shouldn't be religious that was introduced to us through colonialism and slavery, which Christianity was. Orthodox, any of those yada yada yada, we were introduced to it through colonialism and slavery. That's number one. But number two, we cannot show it to be true. So then why should we be part of this religion given those two facts?
Okay, so the trueness of the religion, that's going to be a different subject. I'm still going to address the introduction of it, right? So when it comes to the introduction of Eastern Orthodoxy, there's not going to be any proof, historically speaking, that Eastern Orthodoxy was introduced in a subjective manner. We can even see Eastern Orthodoxy condemning practices like this, as there was a council in 1864 that even condemns the distinctions amongst race. So if there's going to be like a council by the Eastern Orthodox Church during the same time as what the slavery that's going on in the Americas and the Civil War is about to break out, we see that there's going to be an acknowledgement.
So so your argument is that we should be Eastern Orthodox and not Protestant?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we should be I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lords.
I mean, he ain't Catholic, he's Protestant. All right.
Yeah.
Where was the Eastern Orthodox Church when the Roman Empire issued out the Edict of Thessalonica, where they went and destroyed the Serapeum temple that those North Africans, they was worshiping Serapis, and the Roman Empire came out with the Edict of Thessalonica. The Eastern Orthodox Church didn't do shit about that. They didn't stop that.
Okay,
They didn't stop people from. They didn't stop those Christians from going and destroying a separate group pagan temples and worship. They didn't stop it.
Okay,
Like they're not.
Can actually address, because like you draw like different points, right? So when it comes to like the destruction of the temples, let's keep this in mind. If you're addressing anything prior to Constantine acknowledging that the freedom of Christian belief can be practiced, then this is during the time of subjugation, when Christians are going to be actually persecuted large in mass. We see this as examples where some of our famous saints are going to be thrown in pits with lions, and these same like places of worship that you're going to talk about from the pagans, they're actually burning and, you know, dehumanizing Christ in the same manner. So let's keep a consistent basis when it comes to this. And sometimes we even see Constantine declare orders of destructions, because if you're like trying to make a declaration of something post-Constantine, then this is going to be a declaration by the state itself. But if this is pre-Constantine, right, these are Christians actually defending themselves when it comes to other pagans.
What year
so
did I
which one
give
is this
you?
going to be?
What year did I give you?
That's why I'm asking you. Like, is this going to be
I just gave you the year. You're so
You
busy
never said a
trying
year.
to.
You just gave
Yes,
like
I
a
did.
period.
Yes, I did. I said
Oh.
the Edict of Thessalonica in 391. Where was your Eastern Orthodox Church? They
Okay,
didn't. Did they band together to tell Rome, "Hey, don't go and destroy other pagan people's worship. Leave them alone. Let us just worship Jesus Christ and keep it to ourselves." They didn't. Did they stop that?
Let me.
Okay, so in 391, right? When it comes to this, these are also going to be African Christians that even affirm to Christianity,
Koji?
willing to
Hey, Koji?
like destroy these themselves.
Koji,
Yes,
let me ask you a quick question. Over in Eastern Orthodox kingdoms or empires or whatever, did they ever abolish slavery?
Yes, we can actually see like the Declaration of Congratulations, even the Tsar, right? So I'm going to give you a great example.
Which
right?
one
Hold
abolished
up.
slavery? Which one?
Yeah, sure. Let me like give the Armenians did. Yeah, so let me give you like the Armenians abolishing slavery.
Mm-hmm. When did they abolish it? And did they abolish it under the pretext of that it's against orthodoxy?
Yes, they actually like abolish it under the context of this being orthodoxy. And then after that, hold up, there's going to be like another example of like a famous saint. Hold up. Let me actually bring up our saint that actually condemns the practice of slavery, actually.
All right. So
In the church itself.
from just quickly looking it up, it looks like it was around 1915. Do you have something before that? Because I don't know. I'm asking.
The reason why the Armenians weren't allowed to abolish it till then was because they were under Ottoman subjugation. Prior to them like being under Ottoman subjugation, right? They were like actually allowing people of different faiths, because you see like Trinitarians.
No,
and
that's fine.
living in like
I'm asking
Armenian
about.
areas.
I'm not asking about. I'm asking about abolishment of slavery during the transatlantic slave trade. Did Armenia or any of these places ever abolish slavery? Because they weren't. How long were they under the Ottomans? They were under the Ottomans for a while.
They were literally under the Ottomans till the end of World War I. So this would be like post transatlandic slave trade. So like none of these regions like could have actually abolished it.
Right.
So,
when did they get under
like,
the control of the Ottomans? Actually, when did they get control When did they get under control of the Ottomans?
Like, are you asking when were they free from the Ottomans?
No. I'm asking when they were like the Ottoman Empire. How long? As a matter of fact, you might be right. Yeah, because the Ottoman Empire lasted for like a good 1,000 years, right?
Almost.
Yeah, cool. So like I mean, even like prior to the Ottoman Empire, they were under the Umayyad Empire and
no.
as well.
That's fine. So when you brought up the Armenians, when they abolished slavery, that happened after the transatlantic slave trade, which is fine because they were under the Ottomans. All that is good and well. So it didn't get until 1915 where they could officially do it. But what I'm asking is during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, from about 1452 all the way to about 1890 something, which Orthodox empire or kingdom actually abolished slavery?
Yeah, there would have been only one Orthodox empire during this time, and this would be like the Russians.
Did they
Like
abolish
everybody,
slavery?
like every other Orthodox like area is under like Ottoman control.
So they didn't abolish slavery then?
No, hold up. Let me actually like give you the note of when the Tsar congratulates Abraham Lincoln for like freeing the slaves, because he gives naval ships over to the Union soldiers.
after slavery was over.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be the case.
Right. All right, cool. So it seems that the Orthodox didn't really care about slavery either, because they didn't come to our defense.
No, that's not going to be the case, because when it comes to like the church and the state, right, the Orthodox Church doesn't operate in the hands of the government, because they don't want to be abundant under governmental rule, and the government could control the church.
All right, great.
Now, when it comes to the church itself,
so
right?
cool. I got you. Let's go back to the
Wait a minute.
to the first question.
Can I read something?
Go ahead, Lord.
Can I read something? This is from a book called Slavery in the Black Sea Region, circa 900 to 1900. Chapter 5, The Orthodox Church and the Emancipation of Gypsy Slaves in the Romanian Principalities in the 19th Century. In the 1830s through the 1850s, when the issue of the emancipation of Gypsy slaves was on the public agenda in Wallachia, Moldavia, and when various categories of slaves were being freed, the Orthodox Church found itself in a delicate position. On the one hand, the church was a major slave owner. On the other, it was a partner with the state in its attempts from 1831 to gradually modernize Romanian society, a modernization that from the very beginning included the Gypsy population.
Okay. Yeah, that's just going to be one parish that upholds to this ecumenically. No, the church isn't going to affirm this, because we can literally see during the same time. Hold up. Let me actually like give you the quotation of where the church is actually going to condemn.
They're not going to affirm that they own slaves?
The whole ecumenical church, or just that one parish? Because like in the way the Eastern Orthodox
Church says the Orthodox Church found itself in a delicate position. On the one hand, the church was a major slave owner.
Yeah, when it's speaking like of the Orthodox Church, is it speaking of it as a whole, or is it just speaking as just like one area?
Well, it says the church with the capital C.
That doesn't mean anything.
So
really
this is kind of disingenuous.
It does. It actually does.
No, that's not how the
Orthodox. Can I point something out, Koji? Can I point something out? Because you're kind of being disingenuous here, right? When you say that.
No, I'm just telling you how the church works.
Hold on.
Wow, okay.
Hold on. We know how this works, but this is something similar that happened over in the Baptist denomination over here in America, where you had the Reformed Baptists and the Southern Baptists. Why did the Southern Baptists become the Southern Baptists? Because at that time, a lot of people within Koji, I'm giving you an example of what I'm talking about, bro.
They're not similar.
Koji, listen to what I'm saying. Jesus fucking Christ. Listen to what I'm saying for a second. Back in during antebellum, right, when America had slavery, there was one Baptist church. It didn't split. And the reason why it split is because the Baptists in the South had slaves and the Baptists in the North didn't have slaves. That's how they split. So when Lord just is bringing up this conversation and you're asking which parish, which church, you understand that there could be some churches that own slaves and other churches that don't, correct?
Sure. Yeah. It
All right.
been
Great.
A church that can affirm
So
this
great.
notion,
So they were so cool.
but
So
as-
there were Orthodox churches that tolerated and even owned slavery, and there were Orthodox churches that didn't. Right. So it wasn't all together.
This can be the case, but that, like I said,
Cool.
right? Just because
That's
one
all we're pointing out,
parish-
Koji. That's all
Yeah,
we're pointing
doesn't-
out.
But it doesn't.
okay,
It doesn't.
listen.
It doesn't
Yo,
say.
can you,
It
like,
doesn't
let me-
say one parish.
Oh my gosh! Like, can y'all guys like actually let somebody explain what they're finna say, or like y'all just gonna keep on interrupting the explanation?
Koji, we already understand what you're going to say. You're going to say that yes, some Orthodox churches own slaves, but that doesn't mean that the entire Orthodox Church organization in of itself condones slavery. But the problem with that is, if some churches do own it, and the Orthodox organization in of itself never remove those churches from their organization, that implies that they tolerated it.
Yeah. So that's just going to be one parish. I mean, ecumenically, I affirm to the body of believers, right? I don't care what like one specific parish says. Like just because you give me one example, that doesn't mean that's how our faith is lived.
One specific parish.
Yeah, it doesn't
Where
say
do
that.
you see where it says one specific parish?
Okay, can you? You said
If
okay.
that's the case,
Oh my God.
I want you to name the parish. Name the only parish in the Orthodox Church that had slaves. Name the only one.
You said that a church, right, within a certain
No,
region, that would be
sir,
a
it
parish.
didn't.
He didn't say
Sir,
a church.
it says
The
on
church.
the one hand, the church was a major slave owner. I didn't say a church.
Okay, so when you're saying that the church, are you saying that ecumenically, right, the whole body, right, all the patriarchs are affirming to this notion? Yes or no?
Sir, on the one hand, the church was a major slave owner.
Can you just like address like I just said that is there the whole
Coach,
body
Coach,
of
let me
believers
just clear
going
something
to
up.
affirm?
Coach, let me clear something up. You understand when they're talking about the Catholics and
But wait a
Orthodoxy.
minute. No. Wait a minute. Because the believers do not have to affirm shit for the church to own slaves. The believers don't have to affirm this for the church to own slaves.
Oh, yes. What do you mean the believers, the body? What do you
Sir,
mean? Yes, they do.
sir,
Like if the
listen.
bishops and the priests are not affirming
Well,
towards a
obviously they
notion.
did because the church owned slaves.
Oh my gosh. So
All right,
like,
so
are you seeing the whole? Okay.
That's what I'm saying too. You understand that within. I'm just trying to point something out. Do you understand that within like the English language, whenever they talk about the church, when it talks to Orthodoxy or Christianity, they're talking about the entire church, like the Holy Church. When they say the church, that's just how the language works. When they say the church, they mean the actual entire church. They mean the whole organization. So when this document, hold on, wait. The document that Lorch is reading, when it says the church, they're talking about the entire organization. That's what they mean.
All right. Can you show me this document? Can you show me this document? Can you just show me this document?
I don't have it.
What document? What document?
All right, the document that you quoted from, right? Because
I
want to see what they.
Sir, I already told you. It's a book entitled "Slavery in the Black Sea Region, circa 900 to 1900."
Okay. So, because I want to see what it's asserting.
I mean, look, I gave you the. It's chapter 5, entitled "The Orthodox Church and the Emancipation of Gypsy Slaves in the Romanian Principalities in the 19th Century." Sir, you can read it yourself.
Yeah, and y'all,
I can easily read this.
And he's over
like just because.
Read it.
All right, so Koji, this is what we'll say. All right, so at least in the region she's talking about, the Romanian region, the church there owns slaves.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So if that's the case, do you think that as far as what we see, as far as what you know, did the Orthodox Church, whoever the seat was, did they ever excommunicate the Romanian church for owning slaves?
For the parish, I would actually have to see this notion when it comes to it.
All right, cool. Well, as far as we see, they didn't. So it means that the Orthodox Church.
And Bofi, he's caping for the Eastern Orthodox Church. No one ever in the Eastern Orthodox Church abolished slavery. Romania didn't abolish slavery. No one. Instead, they accepted it. It was a cultural acceptance of the Eastern Orthodox Church.
Yeah, the cultural acceptance is under certain circumstances. Like, for instance, if you go to war with one nation, right? Then after that, you either had the notion of either, being murdered or, becoming somebody's slave. Now, if that's going to be an issue for the stance, then that's fine. But let's not see that when war comes and plays a part in this, is that, there aren't going to be some subjective things that come into place. Like, I'm going to give you this example when it comes to it. The Byzantines, right? They never affirmed to this notion of like chattel slavery and what you guys are talking about, but they did uphold a form of slavery, right? When it comes to what? Taking in war prisoners. Now, would you say that when it comes to these war prisoners and they're giving like the told of either being like murdered or being told to become a slave and these people accept slavery, would you still say that's morally wrong?
Yes.
Why is that the case?
Because slavery is wrong.
What do you mean?
Slavery is wrong. I'm not
Volsi,
I'm talking.
slavery.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lord.
The name of this book is called Slavery in the Black Sea Region, circa 900 to 1900, Forms of Unfreedom at the Intersection Between Christianity and Islam.
Yeah, I was looking it up while you were talking.
It explores the Black Sea region as an encounter zone of cultures, legal regimes, religions, and enslavement practices. The topics discussed in the chapters include Byzantine slavery.
Yes, and yes, I even know because I even started reading.
Late medieval slave trade patterns, slavery in Christian societies, Tartar and Cossack raids, the position of Circassians in the slave trade, and comparisons with the Mediterranean and the Atlantic.
Yes, like I said, right? Even these people in the Black Seas, right, are one of the justifications of them becoming a slave is due to war and conflict, or is it purely going to be mainly due to racial tensions? Because the example would be the Bulgarians.
Koji, slavery's wrong. Bro.
Why am I being interrupted?
Okay,
like,
Koji. The reason you're being interrupted because you're trying to sanitize slavery. Slavery's wrong, bro. It doesn't matter if it happened in. It doesn't matter. Koji, stop.
Oh my gosh! Like,
stop,
dude,
Koji. We are black people. You're not going to sanitize slavery. We don't care. End of the context.
I affirm that
Koji, shut
slavery
up.
Is wrong.
Shut up. We don't care under which context is happening. Prisoners of war. If you're going to jail for a crime, if it's chattel slavery, it's all the morals all wrong. Don't sanitize slavery, bro.
Wait, so when West Africans had like prisoners of war,
yes, it was wrong.
Oh, okay. Even though like these are
yes, it was wrong. Yes, it was wrong.
Okay, no, I'm talking like
yes, it was wrong. Yes, it was wrong.
Okay.
How many times do I have to say it, Koji?
So, no, hold up, voice. Dang. So like, can you at least give me the moral stance of why prisoners of war is going to be an immoral thing where the only two options that they have is either death or becoming an enslaved person, and they choose to become an enslaved person.
That's not the only two options. They could let them go. That's not the only two options. The options are determined by the person doing the imprisonment. That's not the only two options.
Wait. So you're telling me that somebody that's in war,
any option that the imprisoner, that the person that puts them in prison makes up, are the options that they have.
So let me get this correct, right? When you're in war and in combat with somebody, right? And, you know, these people are actually trying to like destroy your people and your families, right? You'll just like let them go.
Koji, I need to understand exactly what you're doing here.
No.
Wait, hold on. No.
I've answered your question.
Stop. Koji. I need to understand exactly what you're doing, what's happening here. Are you really trying to sanitize slavery and genocide? What are we doing?
I don't affirm that all slavery is the same. Like what? That's
I affirm that all slavery is immoral.
Okay,
that's what I affirm.
Sure, you can affirm that.
All right, and the fact that you don't affirm that, but you have a all-loving, a supposedly all-loving, all-knowing God, it's kind of fucked up. Don't you see the problem here?
No, because war is a real thing.
We know that war is a real thing. That doesn't mean that you need to have slaves.
Okay, listen. Oh my gosh, I'm saying that when it comes to the outcome. Okay, so when it comes to war, right? Let's say that you're in combat, right? And I'm talking about
Coach, we gotta move on from this subject, bro. Coach, I'm sorry. We gotta move on from this subject. Slavery's wrong. You're not gonna try to convince me or try to argue, philosophize slavery being correct. I don't care if it's prison or war. Be quiet.
I literally said that.
Be quiet for a second.
That's not what I said.
Shut up for a second.
Yo, can you actually
shut up for a second? I don't care if it was a prisoner of war. I don't care if it's for a crime. I don't care if they got sold. I don't care if a mama gotta pay off her bills and she becomes a sex slave for a pimp. All of it is immoral. So I don't know what we're talking about here. I understand that you said it's not all on the same level. Great, it's not on the same level. I don't care. It's still immoral, Koji. Why are we still talking about this? That's what I'm trying to get to. Why are we talking about this?
Because literally the point in which you're trying to justify is the fact that you're comparing all slavery as the same. Even historians.
I didn't say they were all the same, Koji. I didn't say that. I said they are all immoral. I didn't say they're all the same.
Yeah, whether they are all immoral, right? Yes, I do not object to that stance.
So there's no point of us talking. Let's move on then. That was my only point, Koji. What are we talking about after that? Koji, stop. Listen. You just said you agree with me that all slavery is wrong, even if they're different forms. We just both agree with that. That was my only point. So there's no point of us talking more about it. Just move on, bro. We both agree that all slavery is wrong.
Okay, so
let's just move on, bro.
Like, dude, can you at least just address the point that I'm going to make?
No,
like, you just
move on. We both agreed. We both agree, Koji, that slavery is wrong.
Okay,
move on.
Okay, fine. Okay, so just address the point then.
There's no point. Move on.
Also, did you ever address the prompt?
He didn't.
Yes, I literally addressed the prompt because your buddy right on the top left, Black Atheist, asked the question about the prompt, and then after that I addressed towards it. So then
His answer was we should be Eastern Orthodox Christians because
the Eastern Orthodox there were Eastern Orthodox churches that.
Let me ask you a question: is the Eastern Orthodox God real?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you have evidence of that?
Yeah. So yeah, the evidence will be like miraculous miracles, which we can account to in the justifications of these miracles.
Okay. Cool. How do we test these miracles out now?
Yeah, this is history. Yeah, tell me. Okay, so I'm going to do this for you, right? So these are historical events that are going to be recorded, right? And within historical events, can you tell me how you can scientifically test a historical event?
No, I'm not a historian. You have to hold on. I'm answering your question. I wouldn't know how to do that. I don't have the expertise. You have to go to like an archaeologist, a paleontologist, someone like that.
What is the miraculous miracle that is also a historical event? Can you name one?
Yeah, so the miraculous miracle that is going to be is Saint Mary, right, the Mother of God, going to stop Arab invasion when the Arabs outnumbered the Byzantines when their siege to Constantinople.
So Saint Mary, Jesus's mother,
making an appearance.
She made an appearance. How do we verify that? How do I verify that an apparition made an appearance?
Yeah, sure. There's an easy way that you can do this, right?
Okay, cool.
If we know that the Muslims outnumbered the Byzantines during the standpoint.
No. How can I verify that? Because you're saying that an apparition came to someone and appeared, correct?
I never said just to someone, right? Like there was multiple accounts, even like the Arabs themselves just turned away for no apparent reason. So now when the Arabs were initially...
Is that evidence to you because they turned around?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait, give me a second. I'm sorry, Koji, because we need to actually get some specifics here because I'm not sure what battle you're talking about, what year this was, the circumstances. What are we talking about here? What battle was it? What happened? Was it the Arabs and the Sassanids? Or I'm sorry, not the Arabs and Sassanids, the Byzantines and the Sassanids? Or who are we talking about? Which battle? Which year?
Yeah,
no, I'm really asking which battle, which year, so we can look it up.
Yeah, no, I'm actually like pulling it up right now.
All right, cool. Yeah, because I was trying to look it up, but I couldn't really find anything because I'm not clear on when this is supposed to happen. So just for clarification, he's saying that Mary, the mother of Jesus, appeared, I guess, in the sky to a whole bunch of people and turned away an Arab invasion. We're just wondering when was this supposed to happen because
so this is going to be the siege of Constantinople during 717 to 718.
All right, so siege of Constantinople. I'm sorry, say that again.
717 to 718.
717 to 718. And you said Mary appeared in the sky?
Yeah, so like Mary would like make an appearance in order to like thwart Arab invasion. Because the Arabs were outnumbering the Byzantines, aside from the Greek fire that they were using to push them back during the initial land invasion, right? You see that the Umayyad Caliphate troops actually like make a turnaround for whatever reason when they're beginning a siege of the walls of Constantinople.
All right, actually, so I'm looking up at this, right? They said there's no historical record of that. The siege like kind of ended because the Byzantines were still using Greek fire. And we know what Greek fire is. We lost the ingredients for Greek fire. We don't know what the recipe is, but the Byzantines were using Greek fire in order to repel the Umayyad Caliphate. Like I don't see any records of Mary appearing in the sky when it comes to this siege.
Wait, what are you reading right now? Because literally I'm seeing like the opposite. I mean, you can even just go to the Byzantine legacy. Like they even make like a attribution towards this.
But you need to make sure your source is not biased. Like it needs to be a non-biased source based in fact. And also just because witnesses say they see something don't mean it was real. Like We don't say Bigfoot is real, and a bunch of people said they saw Bigfoot. So that's
Okay,
not.
so then after that, could
And
you
you're talking
explain why
about
like
you're talking about the siege of Constantinople from 717 to 718, right?
yes.
Because yeah, I just did a really quick Google and it says there's no records of that happening. Where can I look to see if there's a record of that happening?
Yeah, sure. I'll just show you like the miracle. Yeah, sure. I'll just pull it up like the miracle of like Mary and her apparition, and then her.
And here's another problem. Oh, my wife is in the background, y'all. So I gotta end soon. Here's another thing, Koji. Do you also believe that Zeus and he intervened in the Battle of Troy? Because that's what it says in the Iliad.
Sure. I mean, yeah, because even in Eastern Orthodox theology, we affirm that the pagan gods are just going to be fallen angels that actually make an interference amongst man and trying to.
So you really think that Zeus and Aphrodite is real?
So you don't
Do
have
I actually
evidence
think
either?
that they're real in the actual God? No, but do I believe that these are fallen angels that are going to attribute
So
themselves as
you're
being
just
like a
telling
God
us
being?
what you believe also?
Holy shit.
Like, this is literally what the church affirms to. What's going, like,
Yeah,
what?
How do we show this true, my guy?
How can does the church have evidence of it?
Like, of like fallen, like false deities, like showing them. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, like, what? So,
So
like, do you
you're
still want
just
me to show
telling us
you,
what
like,
what you believe and what the church says.
that's literally like what this whole conversation has been about, like what I believe.
All right, so you believe
No,
things
actually,
with no evidence?
no, because I asked you for evidence. I asked you, how can I verify it?
Okay, if these are
That
historical,
ain't what my
okay,
conversation been about.
okay. So let me ask. So like, I'm just gonna ask you this, right? Because I asked you, how exactly do you want me to prove an historical account? Right?
Demonstrable, repeatable, falsifiable evidence. Listen,
You can't
if I
repeat.
hold,
You can't do nothing
sir, listen
repeatable
to
on
what I'm
historical
saying.
accounts.
If I hold up a key, right, and I turn my camera on, would you know it was a key?
Like, why are you like obfuscating from my question? Can you just at least address my question?
I answered your question. Demonstrable, repeatable, falsifiable.
I have one.
You asked me what I need as far as evidence to be able to verify this.
Yes. How do you want me to prove historical accounts, whether they are justifiable or non-justifiable? Right? Like, for instance,
we can prove that Abraham Lincoln was the president.
I'm not even like, okay, no, like prior, like pre-dad, right? Like Alexander the Great.
Coach, I got you. The way they do it is through the historical method, which is basically close to the scientific method. Basically, what they need is primary sources like letters, physical artifacts, etc., and they process it through something called source criticism. Like they do external criticism, like physical texts. They actually can do physical tests. They do linguistic analysis, meaning they talk to linguists around that time. They also use scientific evidence such as archaeology and carbon dating, all that good stuff, right? So when ancient people said that some ancient king walked on the sky, historians are not going to take that seriously because there's no way that you can make an artifact, you can get an artifact for that. You can't do archaeology for that. And primaries and those are going to come from like secondary sources of legends around that time, right? So you can't really take supernatural stuff seriously. So the question then becomes, what do we do when it comes to these supernatural claims? Since we can't get any evidence of them, why believe them, or how do we get evidence for them if there's no physical way to do so?
So like when it comes to like supernatural events, right? When it comes to like humans and their interactions with God, the best thing will be recorded events and the consistency of these recorded events when it comes like the continuation of human history. Like for instance, supernatural events, can they be scientifically proven? No, when it comes to any form of scientific principle, right? Like Christ's resurrection, right?
Right,
the only way to prove this happens is through what? Historical recordings and dating of this.
But Koji, that will only tell us what people believe. It won't show what they believe was actually true. Because there's hold on. There's historical dating of the Chinese, speaking of dragons. There's historical dating of the Japanese. They have a flood myth of a samurai poking the sky and water falling out all on the floor or all on the lands, right? But none of us believe that. None of us believe that an actual samurai climbed all the way up to the sky and poked his sword into the sky. Are you going to take that as a real historical event?
The only way to do this, it would be to measure it with actual historical accounts would have been on at the time. I'll give you an example.
Coach, I need you to answer that question.
The
Japanese wrote, hold on, no, you didn't. The Japanese wrote that a samurai climbed up to heaven and poked his sword in the sky, and that caused the flood. Do you think that's an actual historical event?
Listen to I'm going to repeat myself.
It's just a yes or no, bro. It's just a yes or no.
I'm not going to affirm anything in history in an absolute yes or no. That's not how you determine history. What you do is when you're giving records and datas, you determine based off of the surrounding historical events that happened at the time.
Koji, I'm not sure why this is so hard for you, bro. This is a story that the Japanese wrote of a samurai poking the sky with a sword and water falling out. Do you take that as an actual historical thing?
No, because there would be nothing to justify. Because the
there's
reason
nothing
why
to
is
justify
there's nothing
that.
to justify it.
Exactly.
Correct.
So Koji, I agree with
Now,
you.
when it
Koji. So when it comes to Christian claims, it's the same thing. There's nothing to justify that Jesus flew to the sky like Superman. There's nothing to justify that.
So like different historical accounts from different authors. Also, there's going to be people past these authors that are going to affirm that they're the students of these people.
Which historical author said that they saw Jesus fly to the sky like Superman? That's only in the Gospels, and the Gospels are anonymous.
No, they're not, because John's gospel isn't anonymous, because we know Polycarp is going to affirm John. Polycarp is an actual historical person. And actually, the person that's going to affirm Polycarp, actually, let me write the historian, who even acknowledges Polycarp as being a student of John, right?
Hold on. You're saying that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are not anonymous, and they're not given to that. Hold on. So who wrote Matthew then?
Matthew is going to be written by Matthew.
Matthew didn't write Matthew. That's not autographed at all.
Yeah, sure. Can I actually give you the historical lining?
There's no evidence that someone named Matthew actually wrote Matthew. This was given by the church later on. They're completely anonymous.
Can I actually give you like the justification of historical lineage of how Matthew is going to be proven to be written by Matthew?
No. So
what do you mean? No. What?
I'm coming in. So there's no writing from any Polycarp that claims that he knew John at all. Okay, can you point it out?
Yeah.
Please do.
While he does that, can I mention there is a testable miracle you guys can go see yourself if you're on the East Coast?
Not exactly. No. And then while you're doing that, the names Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John weren't attributed to those anonymous books until 180 in Against Heresies by Irenaeus.
Yeah, and then Irenaeus is going to be a student of who?
And throughout the whole books, throughout the whole books of Matthew and John, it's written in third person omniscient, and it claims and it has details of things that they should not have and would not have known because they weren't there. But an author of a fictional text that's writing in the omniscient point of view would know those things.
No, because if Irenaeus is going to affirm the notion that Polycarp is a student of John, and we see that Irenaeus is teaching similar to...
That's cool. Before we get on that, can you tell me where Polycarp wrote that he knew John?
Yeah, the Polycarp knew John the Apostle, right? Which you can go to is, hold up.
Please tell me please tell me where in the epistle to the Philippians he wrote that he knew John.
Because we don't assert that this is going to be the epistle.
That is the only letter that anyone has that attributed to Polycarp, and it's a composite letter. Now even Christians' favorite word, the scholarly consensus, agree that it's a composite letter. Pieced together by multiple people. But even so, nowhere in the letter does this Polycarp claim to have known John.
Yeah, so when Tertullian, right, when he's interacting with Polycarp, right, and Tertullian is talking, Tertullian even asserts that this is going to be like a student of John. So we have outside sources that are dealing with Polycarp.
No, we don't. Can you tell me where that's written?
Yeah, sure.
Right, because all this I can't really speak to because I don't know who I'm not sure who Polycarp is. I just did a really quick search.
It's the historicity.
History. I just did a really quick search. I do know the scholarly consensus is that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are anonymous. And I'm not saying that John doesn't exist or John never existed. or that Polycarp never existed, or even that they didn't know of each other. They could have known of each other. They could have even known each other. But from what I'm seeing, nowhere does Polycarp write that John wrote the Gospel of John. Just that he knew John. That's only a quick Google though.
Polycarp didn't even write that he knew John.
Yeah, like I said, Tertullian. Like I said, from Tertullian with Polycarp, you can
Before we
go
get
to
on
New
Tertullian, I'm still waiting on. Could you please tell me where Polycarp wrote that he knew John?
Yeah, this is going to be from Tertullian. Tertullian is going to affirm from Polycarp, who he has the interaction with. You can go to the Perceptions Against Heresies, right, where this is going to be talked about.
Wait, Coach. Let's make a clarification. Did Polycarp himself say that he knew John, or did his students say that Polycarp knew John?
No, Polycarp is going to affirm this to Tertullian.
Where?
And he's going to.
Yeah, where
Prescriptions against heretics.
Where did Polycarp? That's not Polycarp's writing. So where did Polycarp affirm this?
Oh my gosh! Like I literally said that this is Polycarp speaking to somebody and somebody writing the accounts with Polycarp. What?
Okay. Where can you read that direct statement?
Yeah, the Prescriptions Against Heresies. Yeah, sure. All right.
You said the prescriptions of heretics?
No, the prescriptions, right? The prescriptions against heresy.
Yeah, the prescription against heretics. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and bring it up. By Tertullian, right?
Correct.
All right, cool. I don't know if I have the whole book here, but is there a certain chapter we need to look at, or do I just press like Control F to find John? So
yeah, you can just like click Control F, and then after that, you'll just find John.
So let's see. It's probably gonna be hard to read because the language was so different back then. Translated to English or modern English is going to be kind of all right. Cool. So what are we looking at? Are we looking for a conversation, or are we looking for what Tertullian wrote about John?
No, it's what Tertullian is going to be writing about Polycarp asserting the notion of John.
We're looking for where Polycarp writes that he knew John.
Yeah, I'm literally telling. Oh, where Polycarp's right? No, like I said, that this is going to be Tertullian's writing.
So Polycarp didn't write that he knew John, like you said earlier.
Yeah, like I'll even redact that statement.
All right,
but I don't even have an issue.
But
we do know
Koji,
that there are people. But hold up, but that doesn't change the fact that there's going to be people.
I got you, Koji. But like, this is what I was asking you before: that Polycarp say he wrote it, or did his students say that he knew John? And you said Polycarp. All right, cool. So
yeah, like I said,
so now it's his student.
Retract that statement.
Right,
yeah,
cool.
The writing. Yeah, this writing is going to be a Tertullian. This is going to be somebody who is on equal footing with Polycarp, because these are both people are going to be bishops.
Okay, cool. So I put Control F Polycarp. I only have one reference here in this chapter 32. Let me see if I can read the whole paragraph, because Polycarp is mentioned once in this whole paragraph. It says, "Be if there any heresies which are bold enough to plant themselves in the midst of the apocalyptic age, that there may be seem to have handed down the apostles because existed, blah, 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 blah." Let me find the next sentence. "For this manner in which the apostolic churches transmit their registries, as the church of Samaria, which records that Polycarp was placed therein by John, as also the church of Rome, which makes Clement to have ordained him in a manner of Peter." So basically, this is mentioning Polycarp, that John put Polycarp in a certain church, and that's really it.
Yes, that would be the way in which Polycarp knows, because the succession of one when it comes to the church can only be done by the ordination of the apostles.
But where does that show that that Polycarp affirmed that John wrote John?
Oh, sure. Now, that is going to be like the different instance, right? Now, Polycarp knowing John, right? I can give you that, right? Now, the actual writings, like, oh, Polycarp asserting, because I can give you like other people, like
so
Irenaeus.
John is anonymous then.
No, John wouldn't still, because if we can assert, right? Because do you historically agree that Polycarp knows John from like the letters of Tertullian?
From what this letter says, it says that Polycarp was put in a certain church by John. So
yes, he's going to be ordained by John.
So he was ordained by John. All right, great. Because
yes,
you gotta understand, none of this is something I care about deeply. Tell you the truth. That we can say that Polycarp knew John. That doesn't mean that Jesus flew to the sky.
Hold on, I'm still gonna like give like the line of justification, right? So then after that, you have
I got you. But what I'm saying is that I don't have a problem with these being real people who knew each other. That's all good and well. The claim then becomes, how do we know that Jesus flew to the sky? This is
like
what
I
we're
said,
saying.
John is going to be a first-hand account dealing with like the Messiah himself.
But that's a problem. John is anonymous.
Like I literally said, this is why I'm finna go to like Irenaeus, and then after that, his discussions about like Polycarp.
All right,
when it comes to John.
So Irenaeus is the one that confirms that John wrote John.
Yeah, because you see Irenaeus in the apostolic succession. Then after that, you have.
I don't care about the succession part. Did Irenaeus confirm that John wrote John?
Yes, Irenaeus is going to talk about this.
Where?
Yeah, so when you go to Irenaeus' Apostolic Succession by Andrew Corsus, it says, having passed Reformation Day and is worth returning to you, to the ever-surpassing Irenaeus of Lyons, we know Irenaeus chiefly through his heresiological tome against heresies, which mainly directed against Gnostic certains. According to Arius' own account himself, his teacher was Polycarp of Smyrna, a disciple of John, Christ's own disciple. One would think Christians interested in better understanding their earlier doctrinal and instructional history have paid close. Now, and then after that, then you're just going to see like, then just click on like the link, and then there's going to be like the plenary of Rome's Irenaeus history and economic presuppositions. And then it's going to go like later down on talking about the relationship between Polycarp and John, right? And how Polycarp's teachings, especially like logos theology, is going to be very similar to what John opposed to. And,
Okay, so basically what I'm hearing is that Irenaeus say that John wrote it, and this other person kind of says that John wrote it. So therefore, we believe that Jesus flew to the sky.
Irenaeus is going to be the justifier of Polycarp, who's going to be a student of John. John is going to be the first-hand account, which Irenaeus is going to affirm the fact that Polycarp studied the scriptures under John, affirming these notions of the gospel, right? Because with Polycarp, right, because I would have to ask you.
But none of this really shows that John wrote John or that was a first-hand account, because it's still anonymous.
Okay, so how does Polycarp get similar teachings, right? Because if it's going to be anonymous,
because
we see Polycarp and Irenaeus, right? If we see Polycarp and Irenaeus, right, asserting to similar teachings, which is going to be in John, then this anonymous account.
Because Koji, John was already around at the time, like the Gospel of John was already being passed around at the time.
No, it wasn't. That's not even true at all.
Being passed. Okay, so when was John written then?
John is going to be written in the first century, and it's only going to be handed down towards those who are his students.
So it was already around, like I said.
When you mean by already around, do you mean like the universal church is having it, or
no?
Just like
I'm talking about the gospel itself. Of course, Irenaeus and Polycarp are gonna have similar teachings because the gospel is already around.
What do you mean by the?
They're both reading from the same gospel.
No, because Irenaeus comes after Polycarp.
They weren't reading from the same gospel.
Oh my god,
I'm confused. Did Irenaeus and Polycarp have a copy of the Gospel of John or not?
Yes, they had his direct manuscripts.
All right, cool. So if they had his manuscripts, then that means that that it was already around. When you say that, why would they have the same or the similar teachings? Because they were reading from the same thing. Like, I don't get it. What do you mean?
Okay, and for them to read from the similar things, right? Then who would you assert that Polycarp is getting this information from?
He's just getting it from John. He's getting it from the Gospel of John.
Okay, so he's getting it from the Gospel of John, right? So then after that, why would you then try to say that these are going to be anonymous accounts when if we look at the
Gospel
Gospel
of John, anonymous.
How, when historically speaking, the first century Judaism and their practicing and what's going on during the Roman Empire, there's not going to be any historical inconsistencies within John's Gospel.
Yeah, they would.
No,
like what?
So let's
give me an example of a historical inconsistency within John's Gospel.
Because I'm dealing with there is no because Polycarp in himself did not exist. That's why there's no writings of him. Those things were compiled and made up by Irenaeus. So you said it's evidence of Christian writings or persecution or whatever during the first century. Is that what you just said?
No, that's not at all what I said. Oh my
That's
God.
why I said that's why I asked, is that what you just said?
No, because like first you're making a claim that Polycarp doesn't exist. Okay, based off of what stance? Because you have
he did because no, he didn't because Irenaeus.
He literally brings up where Tertullian is quoting that Polycarp is going to be the successor.
Could you
of John.
let him tell you why he thinks the man doesn't exist? Please. Every time he talks, you
Wait, no, I'm
interrupt.
saying
Go ahead.
he just he does that.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Be Easy.
Yeah, he does that. He does that very often. So, was one, way before Eusebius, was one that made up a bunch of fake stuff. That's why his writing is called Against Heresies, because he was a Christian apologetics that was creating things to write for the defense of the religion against heresies, mainly Celsus. Now, Irenaeus was the one who compiled the beginning and ending of Acts and Luke as well. That is why there's no writings available of Polycarp's. Again, the only one attributed to Polycarp by scholars or whatever y'all want to call them, is the letter to the Philippians, and even all scholars agree that it is a composite letter created with
can
by
everybody
multiple
pause for me real quick? I do apologize, y'all, because I gotta get off soon. Y'all see who behind me, right? Yep, y'all see who behind me, right? So yeah, I gotta get off
you that
soon.
look.
Yeah, she gave me that look. She definitely gave me that look. Babe, say hi to everybody. Come here, babe. Babe, come here. Yeah, she gave me that look to go ahead and get off. So 5 minutes, babe. 5 minutes. All right, she gonna give me. She's mad, y'all. She's not gonna give me 5 minutes. All right, so y'all, let's do this. Koji, you want to come back next week?
Sure, I'll come back next week.
All right, come back next week. Liam, you want to come back next week?
Yeah, I'll give you a follow. I was just gonna give one little noodle for y'all because you were asking him for like something you could test. There is an icon that is a living icon that streams myrrh that's coming to the East Coast. You can look it up. The Mother of God icon.
Yeah, sure.
If y'all
All right,
got
guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I do appreciate everybody being here. Y'all are wonderful. So for now, we're gonna go ahead and say peace out. Hey, be easy. If you go on live, I'll go ahead and be there to support and like it. But I appreciate all y'all for being here. Okay, y'all remember to follow Dr. Lortz. Y'all remember to follow Be Easy. Y'all remember to follow Bar. Stream that music. Definitely stream that music. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Hey, y'all, appreciate you all. Y'all have a good night. Always remember, be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, be trustworthy. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
And I ain't gonna lie, because I've been having my daughter all day. I'm by myself, and she walking now. She been giving me the blues. That's why I haven't been talking much. Yeah, she is.
In English? Now I'm curious.